All right, y'all. Welcome back to another episode of the Wiley Show. Now, it's been a while since I've been live on here, so let me do the countdown. And let's see if everything go. But it's been a while since I've been here in the studio. So we got a lot to discuss. So give me a second when y'all share this live. I'm gonna go ahead and get this countdown started. And y'all let me know if y'all can hear me in the building. So y'all let me know. So let me go ahead and get this countdown started. All right, so we're back, and let me tell y'all something. We traveled from Chicago to Dallas. I believe this is going to be my last time on the train, right? So I get on the train, and mind you, it is packed. So really, it's packed. Okay. So I guess the lady, she wanted to sit by her daughter, and I wasn't moving because I have like a window seat. I like a window seat because I like to look out the window. So she was kind of upset about that. She wanted to sit with her family, and the entire family she wanted to sit with, and she couldn't. And the train attendant kept telling her, like, "Ma'am, your daughter is grown. Like, if that was a minor, it's a different story. Like, she's fine, you fine." So she kept switching seats with her daughter. I guess I don't know if she thought I was gonna try to holler at her daughter, whatever the case may be. But I just had my headphones in my ear, and like she's just complaining. I like a window seat, like I've always said. I got there on time. I got a window seat, so she kept switching seats with her daughter, and then eventually they got another seat. Then another group of black women came on it, and they was a little ratchet, y'all, because the train attendant was telling people like you cannot have a whole section to your to yourself. This train is full. So I'm listening, blah blah blah. And if you're two adults, y'all got to split up because we don't separate children. So it was a group of people with their kids came in. So finally they had a seat. So this woman came and sat by me, and then as soon as she sat down, I mean, she started talking. I'm started talking to her, like, "Oh my gosh, I really like your shirt." And then she said, "Oh, since you got on that shirt, anything is possible. Do you want to drink?" I'm like, "What do you mean drink what?" So she had pulled out about two bottles of Hennessy. I said, "Oh no, ma'am, I can't drink that because things happen." And then because I go through things when I drink Hennessy. And then she was like, "Well, what things do you go through when you drink Hennessy?" "Oh, I don't really want to get through that. I don't really want to get through what I go through when I drink Hennessy." So we was just going back and forth and just talking, and she was just talking and just we're talking. Like, she's a beautiful black woman, but she was drinking. And so I'm just literally sitting there and just watching her, and we were just talking, and we were just having just this amazing conversations. Like, it was just dope. And of course she wasn't dressed like how she's, I think, appropriately to be on the train, because soon as she like leaned forward to get the drink, you could just see like her undergarment. I'm like, "Oh my gosh." So okay, it's anytime you're on the train, okay, the sun is going down. And so literally the sun is going down, and um it's getting dark, or whatever the case may be. So I'm up here trying to go to sleep myself. I'm trying to wind down and go to sleep because the sun is down. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to my gospel music, and then she just kept touching my arm, and then she was like, "Do you want to do you want to lay in a blanket? And I'm just trying to be a gentleman. I'm like, oh no, I don't want to lay in a blanket. I'm fine, ma'am. And so next thing I know, she started to. Now I don't know if I was dreaming. I would say this. I don't know if I was dreaming or if she actually like laid her head like where I was at laying her head. I don't know because I was just out of there. Like I was sleep. So I just literally just get in there. I'm just like laying down and stuff like that. So then she get up and then she was like it was just a lot with this situation. I'm not gonna get into all the details of what went on that train. That's between me, her, and the train experience. But it was fun. I will tell you this. It was fun. And then she was like, because I started to go live on YouTube because mind you, I'm talking to my writers and she's hearing my conversation. Now, mind you, she's a faithful viewer of like the Shade Room, Ball Alert. Like she reads the blogs. She was like, "Oh my gosh, you're a blogger." I was like, "Yes, ma'am." And then she said, "Don't call me ma'am." So I had to stop calling her ma'am because I was calling everybody ma'am. Anyway. So I started talking to my writers about what to post and what titles to post because I'm literally on the train, right? And so she was hearing everything. And then I just went, and then she was like, "Oh, you a blogger? I ain't trying to eavesdrop." Of course you're trying to you right there. You have no choice but to eavesdrop. But anyway, so I give her my information and she's like, "Okay, what's your number? We gonna have to like link up when I'm back in, you know what I'm saying? Because I come to Dallas sometimes and I also come to Chicago sometimes." I'm like, "Oh, that's fine." And, I gave her the number. And so I gave her the number. And so soon she get off the train, um, she started texting me like in text like, "Oh, you're adorable, you smell good," or whatever the case may be. So we was communicating and now I'm flirting with her, right? And saying some things I shouldn't say publicly, but we was just flirting. And it was just a good thing, like, cause we was on the train for hours and hours and hours, and we had like great conversations. It was really good just connecting and talking. And mind you, I'm extremely the thing about it is the thing about it is I was extremely, you know what I'm saying, I'm horny in a sense because I've been going on this break of not doing anything. So already my hormones just ranging, you know what I'm saying? And it didn't make it no better for me personally because I kept reading this book. What was the name of the book? I ain't gonna say the name. Yeah, I'm gonna say the name of it. Hold on one second, y'all. I kept reading this book called give me a quick second. What was the name of this book? Hold on, y'all. I kept reading this book and hold on, let me get back on the screen here. I kept reading this book and it's called The Appraisal, written by Brelly Montgomery. And mind you, this book was just literally turning me on. And she was like, "What are you reading?" So I didn't want to tell. I was like, "Oh, it's a book." And I'm like, "Nah." So she Googled, my God, she she Googled the book. And so she said, "Oh, this book is a sex book." And then she was talking about how she liked Zane books. And she was like, "I really don't like to read. I like to do the real thing because it puts you in a mode and it puts you in like in a zone or whatever." And I'm like, "Oh yeah, I don't wanna, talk about," but she was just really getting into it. So I'm literally reading this book and literally it was literally turning me on. So my hormones is just through the roof. So mind you, I haven't had no energy, like whatever. So my mind is just went on, like I'm ready to hit that in the train restroom and stuff like that. Like it's just I'm in the zone right now. So I said, okay, I can't do. I'm gonna just go to sleep and try to sleep it off. And I said, I need to stop reading this book. But the book was so good. The book was good, you guys. I'm on chapter 10 or 12, and I started reading at chapter 6, and I'm just reading it. It's getting really, really good. So I said, okay, let me start reading this book. So I get up. Then finally she gets to her stop. She gets what Texas? I forgot what part of Texas, but she got off a couple of stops before me, and then of course I get on my a book. So I get off my on my stop, and then I got home and then everybody kept talking about the bankruptcy stuff like that. And I said, okay, let me get the thumbnail, blah, blah, blah. And I said, hey, I'm going to go live at 4 o'clock, 5 Eastern, 4 Central. And now, mind you, I'm already tired, right? I'm tired. So I'm trying to stay up and get ready. I'm like, no. And then what kind of like drained my energy? Cause I just like I have those urges. So I went and got on my OnlyFans, start watching my OnlyFans people that I haven't seen in a while on OnlyFans. He had released some new content, and then she had him and his girlfriend, they released some new content. I was like, oh no, I shouldn't be on here. I'm on a 90-day cleanse. And so that 90-day cleanse just broke immediately. It literally broke immediately. I would tell you how it was like raging that I didn't even have to watch the video. I was just ready to just explode in a sense. And and I went to sleep. And I went to sleep. Now, mind you, I'm up here watching this movie with Tom Hanks. I believe it was Tom Hanks. I could be wrong. About the whole pirates taking over the ship. That was watching me. And so once I did that, I went to sleep. Because I was just tired. I was extremely tired. Like, and then all of that energy, and I just slept like a newborn. I slept like a newborn baby. And of course, like my phone was just ring. Everybody was going on my phone. I was like, oh my gosh, what's going on? And I was like, oh, I forgot to do the live. I forgot to do the live. But now we are here today. And we got to get into some things, child. Okay, I can take that because that come from my community. All right, we didn't get this from Carisha or Nicki Minaj. I've been saying this forever. All right, let's get into some things, child. All right, I was thinking about LA because you were traveling. Yes, I was traveling. And I was tired. Absolutely, I was. But we have a lot to discuss here, and let's first get into Shaun King. Now, he was getting dragged. I read his book, Make Change, one of my favorite books by him, written by Shaun King, as I'm looking at it in my personal library here. And so he is in the hospital. I received emails. So I was able to send us some donations. Now, mind you, because he's in the hospital. And people was dragging him. Ernest Owens was throwing shade. Everybody was throwing shade. He's in the hospital. And I felt bad because I'm like, Shaun King has been on the front lines for African-American men and women and boys and girls, and really have raised millions of dollars for families. And here he is suffering, with his back and spasms, and can't hardly move, can't hardly touch, and all of this stuff. Like, I got an email from his team. Give me a second here. I got an email because I'm on his email list. I'm a huge Shaun King fan. So I'm just a huge Shaun King fan. So give me a second right here. So I get this email, and it's on the Grassroots Law Project. And it said, hello, Marquise. On most days, I'm asking for help. I'm sorry, on most days, I'm asking for help for someone else in our campaign for justice. But today I'm asking for some help for my team. On a personal level, I will also love your prayers and support. I've been in the hospital a lot, trying anything I can relieve the excruciating pain I'm experiencing after a lifetime of spinal injuries. I've now been diagnosed with something called OCCIPITAL space ENEURALGIA, which is actually the worst pain I experienced in my adult life. It's so extreme that my own doctor and others have experienced this war of deleting intentions that often accompanies. Okay, it's that bad. At times, it hurts to move my head in my direction. It can hurt to talk, chew, even blink my eyes. It now hurts to touch my hair or even touch parts of my face. It's awful. So I just met my doctors, and they want us to try several promising procedures. They're taking a lot out of me in my time away from my grassroots law team, but the team still needs your support. Will you please consider chipping in to help grassroots law team? I will be off work and unable to help much at all during the periods coming up. Thank you so much. I wrestle with whether to share this because as a man, I always taught to never reveal a weakness. But after years of therapy, I worked hard to unlearn some of these needless yeah, so it's a lot that he was saying in this email. And people was throwing, they was throwing shade. Like they was literally like up here throwing shade at him and talking about him negatively. And this is why you have to, understand, you have to educate. Like his mother is white, his father is black, and of course he's more lighter skinned. And people were talking about him, but he's not the first to be judged. I mean, we had some black brothers and sisters back in the day that you didn't even know that their mother was black because look how they look. Look at Meghan Markle. You wouldn't even know that her mother is black, by just judging by her skin tone. So, but he been doing the work. I don't even care if he is white, but he's half white. But he have been doing the work to help benefit black people, and people now he needs the help, and now he have to require of the support, and then people was like, no, but I haven't seen a lot of people match the type of work that he have done, and I've gotten arguments with some activists, and also I see that the brother that was on the front lines, and of course Jamal Green, he done a lot of work as well. So it's a couple of activists I do follow. I don't follow a lot of activists because there's some activists out here that is trash, but Sean is not one of those type of people. Sean is not a trash person. Like he have been putting in the work, being on the front lines, and this is why he get attacked, because he is so effective. This brother can go live and raise millions of dollars for other people, but unfortunately, our people are so conditioned to raise money for a black person that's been brutally attacked, which they rightfully so, or if they were taken out by the hands of the police officer, beautifully so. But they don't rush when someone is going through a medical emergency like Sean King. I don't see the urgency of rushing to help him. But, so that's why everybody, if y'all can chip in and help him, because he desperately need our help, because he's going through something painful in his body, and that have to be very painful for him. And a lot of times you put things off because he's always on the go. The work is so great. Just like the young boy that was shot in Mississippi, the young black boy, I believe he was young. I think he was like 12 or 13 years old. Sean King would have been on the front lines and making a whole GoFundMe page for the young brother for medical expenses for his mom. He would have been telling us about calling the DA, calling the mayor, etc. And that's when I knew something was seriously wrong, because I didn't see no post for him. And then when I got the DM for one of his members of his team, and they were saying, hey, while it is true that he is in a hospital, and I thought it was something, something like minor, and they was like, no, he's in a lot of pain. And then once I've got that DM, and then finally he released something publicly, because like I said, I'm huge fans I'm a huge fan of Sean King and his organization. I think what they're doing for black people is great. And he actually helped, a lot of people don't know this, but Sean King organization and other progressive organizations, they help put a lot of prosecutors, they help vote in a lot of prosecutors, help donate and knock on doors for a lot of progressive prosecutors that we have, that a lot of people are enjoying this day, because his organization was one of the leading organizations that was educating people and knocking on doors to bring those type of people. And then also I love Sean King because he does a podcast. He haven't done one lately. Like I said, he's in a hospital, called The Breakdown. I listen to that. I subscribe to that. So I love just listening to like his voice. He's such a powerful voice in our community. And of course, you get people to talk about his skin tone. But I tell people all the time, there's plenty. I just say, for instance, if y'all want to call him white, there were plenty white people that was on the front lines that were helping us and to help, get us free from slavery, and helping us on the front lines in the civil rights movement. It was some white people that died because of it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just being real, because when people talk about all this, all white people wasn't bad. You know what I'm saying? It was some good ones that were using their money to bring awareness, that were on the front line. You had white preachers, you had white civil rights workers that were killed as well, with black people as well. So it and that's when you have to understand your history. The most, when I talk to people about it, they say white people, and that's not true. Like, it was white people that and still are helping to benefit black people. It's just like it get lost because you get people like Ron Sanctimonious, in the words of President Trump. But no, you get the governor of Florida that want to cancel Black history, don't want to speak about Black history. And then also say, oh, we will teach Asian history to create division between Asian Americans and also Black America. But we need to talk about the relationship that Black people have gotten assistance from white America, for some parts of white America, that actually helped the people, like Dr. King. Some of his advisors, including in conjunction with his Black advisors, were white. You know, he had white attorneys, people that was giving him access to what was going on the inside and also donating. So they actually helped. And I just think that, you know, people, they just paint this picture about all white people. You can't, because not all white people is not right. Like, it's some good ones that's out here doing the good work. But a lot of that don't get broadcasted on the media, because again, that don't drive ratings. What drive ratings is, look at what this white cop did. Or a lot of them don't like to talk about that you got a lot of Black cops that did damage to Black people, but that don't really go viral as much as when they think that a white officer have done things and that was brought. But again, the media have their own narrative when it comes to things like that. And now that I'm working in media and boots on the ground, I understand that I'm already getting resistance as a YouTuber. And this is something I want to say, because I am new Black media. They always say, oh, what organization you work for? I said, I'm an independent media outlet, and we reach over 1 million listeners, and I call it the Wiley Show, where we tackle and bring awareness to things that are going on in our country, local politics and also national politics. And I talk a lot of people, and then when they hear that, they kind of like resistance. But and I've always stand up for our people, because for me in media, I understand that I represent a piece of the market that typically are not watching CNN, MSNBC, all of the WTTW Chicago. They're watching the Wiley Show. So I will always stand up. And is it a challenge? Yes, it's a challenge, because I feel the resistance, because I'm actually on the ground giving you all another narrative from the people, as well giving you the national what they're trying to say, because you know, and all of that. So Sean King, hey, okay, hope you get better, brother. Okay, so give me a second here. Do I have that picture on here? I wish I had that picture. Oh yeah, I have him on here. Okay, so Brandon Johnson, y'all already know, the Mayor Johnson, as I call him. He's the mayor of Chicago. So they did a press conference. Of course, I couldn't make it to the press conference. I'm on my way to Chicago, back to Dallas. So I'm listening to the press conference, and I'm hearing all this stuff. And already the governor office, I'm subscribed to a lot of things. So they sent me about, he's sending peacekeepers with yellow vests. But if you really dive into the peacekeepers, they're not. Some of them really ain't going into hot spots. I heard they're going into spots where there ain't really no violence. It's just a political ploy. It's a great idea, but that idea don't need to be adopted just for a weekend. They need to be in conjunction with community policing. And I hear what Mayor Johnson was saying, that it's going to take a coalition to bring down the violence. And of course, I hear that. But then I got an update from some community activists. Oh my gosh, Wiley, they just had a shooting at the beach. A young teenager came and it was a fight that broke out, and then boom, shot. Nobody was hurt, so thank God the police was there to de-escalate. So that's just an example that the police is needed, but it's also a root cause of why these teenagers are able to get weapons the way that they're able to get weapons. But because of the Second Amendment and because of other neighboring states like Indiana, it is challenging to stop the guns from flowing into these communities. And then also you have people that can get weapons from Texas, from private dealers, and ship it all the way up to Chicago. So it's a whole thing that's going on. But I understand with Mayor Johnson, he must bring in the state and intervene. I even talked to some activists and some people in Chicago, and they kept saying, bring in the National Guard. Bring in the National Guard. And because and all of that, I kept hearing that word. And I understand why they're saying bring in the National Guard. A lot of them saying it now, but when the National Guard come there, it's going to be a little resistance. But I understand, because do need to be more police presence on our trains and on our buses and all of that. I can't even tell you how many of these activists that were saying, we got to get in a group, that they got to get on the bus and get back home before the sun go down. And they have to be in groups and everything because of the violence is just so high. And I see it in my city, and it's just definitely there. And I'm just immediately just looking at this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so real. And I understand the mayor, and of course, that comes from the city, but this is why a lot of the activists and residents in the South and West Side, they're upset about the migrants coming there because they said we are already dealing with high crime, and we're not getting any resources. So this is why it's so important for people like myself with independent media to ask these questions, and also not just ask the questions of the mayor, because now that I'm having boots on the ground, it's the city council that carries the power of the system in Chicago. It's a lot of city council members that been in the city council longer than Mayor Johnson been a mayor. So a lot of the power lies within them. Nothing can pass without the city council approval. No budget. You can't rename a street without the city council. So you, as a mayor, you have to know how to play politics to work with the city council. So you understand that the city council is, hold a lot of power. But the average resident don't even know that. They just automatically blames the mayor. And of course, he is the leader. But they don't know it is a whole process that's going on. But you also got a sector of Black people that understand the process. And that was there, and that was vocal about the process. When we was in City Hall, of course, we saw the resistance. There out of the blue, oh no, the gallery is under construction. And then one particular person said, oh, it's full. So you had two different answers. Like, if you're going to lie to the people, make sure that lie is the same lie. Don't be two different lies. Anyway, I wasn't upset because I was able to be with the people and get a response. So we will be back in City Hall. This time we will know to bring a little bag. Our bag is just destroyed now. We use that bag. I could just say rest in peace. I had this bag for years, and I got off the train and the bag broke. The handle thing broke. So it's time for a new bag. But it was just amazing when I see Mayor Johnson during the press conference, and then people were saying, well, it's not going to be hot. Like the half of the stuff they were talking about in the press conference didn't make no sense, because they were acting like there was about to get 95, 96 weather. And it's not. The weather going to be about 60 to 70 degrees. So it's not going to be a heat wave. But already it's going to be resistance. And you can bring down crime. You must invest in activities. You must invest in drive training. You must invest in community policing. You must invest with other things as well to bring down the crime and really bring in those resources. So it is things that are being done. But like I said, it's going to take a village to stop it. And then also, I believe that the mayor also got to call out the parents, because they must be held accountable, because you can pass as many ordinances as well. But if you don't call out and let the parents know, hey, you got to know where your children are at. And a lot of parents are bowed down with work, but that's no excuse. You are responsible for your child. You should know what's going on in your child bedroom. You should know who your child's friends are. And, most teenagers now, pretty much all of them, got on social media. So you should know your child, what is he on social media. I can't even tell you how many parents of their child was just a danger to society. And a lot of them, they claim they were shocked that, it was one particular woman that was connected, were enemy of King Von. And she was a whole deleter. Like, she was out here deleting people. But, her family, some of them didn't even know she did. They claim, which I think is stupid, they claim they didn't know, and then she lost her life, and they were like, oh, my daughter, oh, she was us, and she wasn't nice. She was not a cheerleader. She was out here in these streets deleting people. Like, she was in the streets hard. So I didn't understand her mama trying to act like she wasn't really in the streets like that. But anyway, all parents, they try to make sure their kids are angels, but in reality, they ain't no angel. But it can be fixed. It's going to have to be resources. It's going to have to be resources, community activism, resources, activities for the children, basketball games, swimming lessons, skating, music is great. President Obama have an awesome program. It helped bring down crime in some parts of the neighborhood because President Obama, my brother's keeper, they actually invest in for young brothers for music, keeping them active. And so a lot of the young guys, they like to do music. So you need to fund and bring in music in the city and also bring in some of the resources to bring in some of those rappers so they can have like concerts, so they can have like poetry night and really keep the children active in those type of weekends. So that's going to have to take money. It's going to take resources to do it. So it can be done. Unless you have to do it. And so the mayor, this is his first test of the honeymoon phase. Is over. It was over when I gave my hand part in that lobby. So they are done with the honeymoon phase. I thought it was going to last about 3 months. One of the attorneys says it's going to last about 3 months. That's a whole lie. It only lasts for about a day or two, but the honeymoon phase is over. They are holding this man accountable, in which they should. They're not waiting. I had an attorney, Mr. May. He said, "Oh, give him about 3 months." I said, "Sir, we can't afford to give him 3 months. We are on them diligently. We got some people that will be coming on our show and talking about this. So it's a lot that we're going to be discussing that's going on in Chicago. But I do wish the mayor all the success because his success is actually the success of the city. So I want him to succeed. I don't want him to fail. And then I also want to be, you know what I'm saying, to be honest and understand that it's not going to happen overnight. I know he do not have this magic wand because if he did, many mayors would have used this quote unquote magic wand. It is a process that he have to go through. But with all that being entailed, the same urgency, I want to say this in my close and I'll move to another subject. The same urgency that it is with the migrants, the same thing that's going on in New York with Mayor Adams and all the way and going to Atlanta. They about to get flooded with migrants in Atlanta. As we say, about 10,000 going to be bussed down there. It need to be the same urgency in when it comes to this issue with poverty with Black people, right? And then also a lot of my brown people don't want to be in the same box with Black folks. I've learned that being boots on the ground. They don't like it. They think that it's a political ploy. They don't like to be in congestion. They think they're different. They think their struggle is different than the Black struggle, okay? But they will use us to be on the front lines. But a lot of the brown people in the community don't like to be joined in with the Black struggle, all right? I've learned that with a couple of people. I said, okay. So that's just how that goes when it goes into the media. And I said, okay, they don't want us to be in conjunction with that. I understand that's their prerogative. This is why I'm committed with the Black people in my community, because I understand we have to fend for ourselves and nothing can get done without the support of all the city council members. Because even if you got a good alderman like Alderman Coleman, that's actually doing the work, she can't do it by herself because the other 49, it's the majority, have to pass whatever ordinance that she want to do to help benefit her neighborhood. The aldermen up north must agree that you need this down on the 63rd. So it's a lot that's going to be discussed, and so we'll bring some more of it up. But we will bring you some more information up with Mayor Johnson and all that. We got you. We're going to be giving y'all some more information as it comes to us. Okay, so that was that. Where else I'm about to go in here? We got to talk about this guy because it was in the news. Like it was in the news. I'm gonna talk about him after this, because y'all know I'm coming for that. But I do want to address this. That's Jamal Green. That is Chance the Rapper. About George Floyd. You know, it's the anniversary of George Floyd's death. About the third anniversary of his death, and so a lot of people were saying that with this, they said nothing had happened. And I said, I agree, because what companies do, they follow trends. Oh my God, it's popular to give Black organizations millions of dollars, and they were just throwing money at places, and then some places never saw a dime. We have to do a follow up, and our follow up game have just been terrible. Like we done enough job with the protests and marching, but our follow-up have not been as consistent. And so when these companies require and all these lawmakers require they're going to do all these things, we must continue that same energy, because one phase of it is protested, educated and protested. But you must also show up at the when it comes to the follow-up. And let's be clear, like these companies, you gotta follow up on these companies and say, hey, you got to make sure you do your job. You got to make sure you do your investment. You got to make sure you do all of that, because if you don't do it, it's just not going to happen. You got to, like, when it comes to the George Floyd Police and Accountability Act, a lot of black people didn't even know that act was being talked about and being negotiated, because again, you got to educate the people so they'll know what's going on in Capitol Hill. And it fell through the cracks, and Tim Scott, he literally destroyed that bill. They used a black Republican to do it, and now he's running for office and talking about how he worked with Democrats to help police accountability, which is a whole lot, because where's the evidence? He had an awesome opportunity to work together to actually donate money, to actually bring funding to police officers to bring more accountability, and it just never happened. Okay, so now he's running for president, which he ain't gonna win, but he's running for president because it makes him look good. It gives him a little bit more power, and then also show that Republicans are doing a good job. But he didn't do nothing when it came into the passing the bill. It went nowhere. So seeing Jamal Green speak about this, being on the front lines, again, marching is one piece. You must also continue to work together with the Democrats and with the Republicans. And this is something that Chance the Rapper don't do a good job at. He don't do a good job of donating to campaigns, networking with campaigns, educating your base to go to these offices and write letters. Like, that's one piece, tell them to vote, but it's a whole nother process once they get in. Then a new process start by phone banking, knocking on doors, being on Capitol Hill, networking with the lawmakers to get this stuff passed and stand on top of them. And they know that a lot of us don't come like they supposed to. And like a lot of people, they come in today because they're upset about what's going on in Chicago. But other weeks, the lady says it's going to be completely empty in City Hall. And so that doesn't need to happen in all parts of government, because they make these decisions because people in Capitol Hill makes a great decision. Of course, Chicago, they did a good job with the police, the Safety Act. But of course, we had an attorney that helped, write the bill. He was saying that they don't do enough job implementing the law. It's a good law, but it means absolutely nothing if you don't implement it, if you don't use it to your benefit and actually educate the people that law exists to help them. So it's a lot that's going on. So when it comes to George Floyd, it was his death. But sadly, I'm not surprised that it just went away. They did a little marching, a little protest. They burned down some buildings. And then they never required them politicians to do something and stayed on top of them. And you have to stay on top. You just cannot sit there and just sit on the sidelines. You got to call these people. You got to email these people. I do it on the local level, and it is some resistance because they shock, like, who are you? What's your name? And blah blah. And then you consistent and you stay consistent. And all of them have email addresses and phone numbers, and send them emails and write letters and bring people and continue to have that process, because that's how the process is going to work. You got to have that engaged. You got to be engaged into politics. You have to, because it affects us. Just like when Jamal Green was talking, it all affects us. When you're trying to get a property, interest rates and all of that, that's political, because President Biden or the federal agency can actually bring down the interest rates if they want to. If they could bring it down to 0% if they wanted to, because they've done it before during the pandemic. They did it before. So, but you got to require, and that's why President Biden is getting attacked by President Trump, because President Trump saying on his first day in office, he's going to reverse all those policies, bring down interest rate, eliminate inflation with his economic policies. And that's actually really good to a lot of black people. I look at my people first because I'm talking to them. And they said we wasn't in war with Ukraine. We wasn't having this high inflation. We wasn't, interest rates were low. Like these are the things that they were saying when it came to, politics. They said all of these things were the truth. Like we wasn't going through any of these things when it came to economically. Like we were doing pretty decent. But when Biden got in, that's when high inflation, that's when, interest rates were through the roof. That's why housing prices have dropped, because buyers are not, feeling encouraged to go in this market because of the high price, because what it used to be about a percentage, a couple of percentage lower, now is a couple of percentage higher. So a lot of people is not enthusiasm to go out here and go and buy a house. So it's a lot that's going on in policy. That's why I tell people to watch and be careful. Really watch what's going on here, and you'll get a clear understanding. Now, that was that. I just had to talk about that because that was in my list here. In my list. Also, let's talk about Tina Turner here. Of course, she knew that she was going to die. Oprah spilled some tea back in 2019 that she claimed that, Tina Turner said she wanted to leave the planet then. And also, they were saying, according to Radar Online, they were saying that Tina Turner put all of her wheels in order, took care of her money, sold her publishing to a company that she was preparing to get her get everything together so her family won't fight over her estate. So she would make sure everything was good before, like 2 years before she passed. And of course, her and her husband actually bought a new property. So that's how that goes. So she was definitely talking about that, and she was having a good time talking about it. And it was so when they was bringing it up. So we will see how this is going to play out with the family, because they say one thing and then the family start arguing. They did that in the Aretha Franklin family. So again, we send our condolences to her family. But I don't know if they're going to do like a concert for Tina Turner, or like a funeral. I don't even know if her funeral going to be in the States, because she was a citizen out in Switzerland. So I don't know if her funeral going to be out there, but people have been showing their respect for her. Lizzo, she did a whole performance showing love for her as well. So it's just amazing, you know what I'm saying? And she passed away from natural causes. Of course, she had kidneys. She had to get a kidney implant. She was on dialysis. I believe she had some forms of cancer. And then also she had a broken heart too, because she lost two of her sons. One of her son from he deleted himself, and then another son was just found expired in the house. So it's like she lost two of her thing. And she also had like kidneys and high blood pressure. It was a lot of things, because a lot of us don't know, like, we were eating all them bad foods. Like my grandmother's going through that today, like eating like high blood pressure. She said, if I would have known that, I would have had a better diet. But of course, we didn't educate our people back when Tina Turner and my grandmother was here, back when they were younger. I'm saying they didn't talk about. They just ate what they could afford. It wasn't let's be green, let's be organic, let's be healthy. It's whatever. And most of that bad eating habits also it just does something. It's just really, really something. And then her husband, of course, tried to give her a kidney, but people don't know kidneys can reject your body, especially if you're not the same blood type. Even you can do all of that and your kidney can still, that donation, it can still do, reject. So that's how that goes. Okay. So that's just how it goes and all of that. So you got to be careful eating all that fried chicken and fat back. It do get back to you. It absolutely do. So let's move on from that. And I love Tina Turner. And like I said, I'm going to watch her movie tonight in honor of her with my. Okay. I'm going to get it in tonight and we'll watch it. Okay. All right. So I was just going to be honest with that. Now, we got to talk about something in here. And the guys, we about to get into it. I know it. We got to talk about Tasha K. All right. Tasha K. Before we get into Tasha K, we got to get into this person, okay? Bishop Whitehead. Now, I had to let Bishop Whitehead what was going on with Tasha K, because he didn't know. Most people is not on the app, right? Most people are not on the app. They not watching the app, and they ain't sending the information. So I sent them information. I thought that, Bishop Whitehead knew that Tasha K was talking about his wife, about his teeth. I couldn't find when she talking about his wife, because she must have deleted it, but she was talking about his teeth, about him being a criminal, about Foxy Brown. And so finally, Bishop Whitehead started calling her bald-headed blogger and started saying he's going to sue her and all that. And then they going back and forth. And then she said, where's your wife? And then boom, later on that day, the Neighborhood Talk posted that she had filed for bankruptcy. Now, Bishop Whitehead did say he is going to sue her for about $250 million. Now, that was that piece. And once that lawsuit come out, we will bring it to you live about his $250 million lawsuit. Now, to Tasha K, I was on the train, minding my own business. I'm on the train heading to Dallas, and everybody was blowing my phone up. I said, what in the world is going on? And so, if you're on the train, you in dead spots where there's no connection. So finally, we was in a good spot. Bing, 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 like my phone was blowing up. And they said, Wiley, you were right. You were right. I said, I was right about what? She filed for bankruptcy. She filed for bankruptcy. And I'm like, who filed for bankruptcy? Tasha K, sir. She filed for bankruptcy. And so a chapter 13. So we learned about the chapter 13. Let's get into this. Y'all come over here. Give me a second. Shout out to Neighborhood Talk. shout out to the Neighborhood Talk because they posted the receipts. So shout out to the Neighborhood Talk. So give me a second while I posted all that. So we grabbed their receipts and we gave them credit because their logo was all up on there. Okay, so I'm sorry. Give me a second. I'm sorry. Chapter 11. Okay, give me a second. I have it in my documents here. Okay, so she filed for bankruptcy, and we have it in here. And let's scroll down because I told you she's going to finally file, and she filed a chapter 11. Okay, so when she filed a chapter 11, and if you break it down with the chapter 11. She got the attorney name and all that. We told y'all she was going to file for bankruptcy. And of course, she's claiming that she's in all this debt. She's in $58,595. Of course, she did not name the Cardi B debt because you can't name it because it's not dischargeable in there as well. Now, so I told everybody that she was going to file bankruptcy. I had a source and multiple sources told me Wiley, she's going to file bankruptcy. It was so bad. She went on vacation. It was no vacation. That was her strategic plan to meet with her lawyers. She was going over her money. She did not want to file. It was her husband. Finally, I have to give him credit. It was her husband that told her, we have no choice. We in debt. We need to file bankruptcy. Okay? Now another source is saying that a couple of her employees' checks were bouncing. Their checks were bouncing. She sent them some checks, sent them some money. It was bouncing. A lot of them over there is noticing what is the future about their job. Will they still be employed with their job? So their future is just unknown right now. It's really, really unknown. It's a mess. This source said, Wiley, she is extremely stressed. And then she sent one of the things. She said, this picture, this is not of Tasha K, but she said this have been her look for the past couple of months. This is how she's been looking. She said when she come into the office, she said, I'm going to send you a picture of how she look. She literally looking like this. Like when she do meetings, they said she would be upbeat, but this is her. Like she's sad. She's not the same. Like she said, her personality is sad. And so she didn't want to file Chapter 11 because even though Chapter 11, it protects you to run your business without a glitch, but to me and the public, oh, she broke. She ain't got it. She broke. Cardi B bankrupted. They're going to say Cardi B bankrupted. They ain't gonna get into it'll protect her. She's a business entity. It protect her business to run. It give us some type of protection. The average person is not going to read and it's a simple Google search. They're going to say Cardi B bankrupt her, and she's going to get dragged in the media, right? She's extremely stressed, and this person in the picture, and she said she's extremely stressed when it came into this situation. She said, Wiley, she didn't want to file bankruptcy. She didn't want to. She said, my name was mentioned. I don't want to prove Wiley right that I got to file bankruptcy, and she had to do it. She have no choice. They're taking her assets. Her business are being threatened. And so she had no choice but to protect her company because the company is trying to go into another lane. And it's clear, and this person did say I could say this, that she is abandoning the American viewer. She want the Nigerian viewer, the African viewers, because that business are getting up into the bill. She want to go to a whole nother demographic, and she need the seed money. So it's a lot of seed money she need. And so her business is being threatened. So, and then she still got to pay all this debt with the situation. Did I feel bad for Tasha K? In the sense, no. I didn't feel bad for Tasha K at all, nor did I feel bad for her children. And let me tell you why I didn't feel bad for her children, nor did I feel bad for Tasha K or her babies. The thing about it with Tasha K is that she had those same children and she ignored her children and she decided to go after another woman and start dissing that woman and her children and start saying the woman had an incurable disease and all of that. So I don't feel bad for her of the type of way. So she was filing bankruptcy just to protect a little piece of her company, just to protect it, because she fears that Cardi B is taking everything. And of course, we'll read the court documents once all is found. We get some more information. She feared that Cardi B is going after everything. Cardi B is trying to go after her trademark. The person said, she said, Wiley, Tasha underestimated Cardi B because the type of lawyers that she have, they are just known for destroying companies. And she said, they're coming after her so bad. They're coming after her so bad. She said, Wiley, it was Cardi B lawyers and people reached out to the venue, and she almost had to change venues to do her meet and greet. She said it's so bad. They're constantly on her so bad, and it's extreme. And she said it's on her what's the name? It's on her stress. And I said it's a good business. She said, well, it's a good business move. But Tasha, she did not want to file bankruptcy. She didn't want to do it. She thought she could handle this situation. She thought Cardi B, and this source said it verbatim, she thought Cardi B was going to leave her alone and just pay it. And I don't know why she thought that. And so now she's being dragged out here in the streets. And you got the Bishop Whitehead situation. And I told Bishop Whitehead what she said because he didn't know. I said, this is what she said. I said, you need to get a subscription to the app. You need to get to know. And then Foxy Brown liked the picture and the thing, and then we had the connection with Foxy Brown, and she told me verbatim, she said, Wiley, I'm not a part of no scam. I'm not a part of this with Bishop Whitehead. I'm not a part of this scam. I am cordial. I'm cool with Bishop Whitehead, but no, I did not tell him to do a scam to scam people with a credit card. What that lady is saying, what according to her, what that B said is a whole lie, because we reach out to these people. See, I'm a little different when it comes to this situation with Bishop Whitehead and all that. I'm going to ask him. The issue that she had with Bishop Whitehead is that she wanted more for Bishop Whitehead. She wanted Bishop Whitehead to do more videos on her show. She wanted more of a connection with Bishop Whitehead. And Bishop Whitehead pretty much don't want this connection like with her at all. He wanted to kind of do his own thing, and she just wanted more. Bishop Whitehead actually got some tea. Let's put his picture back on the screen here. Paul, put him back on the screen here. He didn't tell me the pastor's name, so I'm going to have to be careful, and I'm not going to even spread out the pastor's name because I heard this in my DM. Until I could confirm this from the pastor, I'm not going to put that man's name out there from California. But it is a pastor that is claiming, okay, that Larry Reed gave him HIV, all right? I'm not going to put the pastor name out there until I get his word that I gotta put him on, I gotta ask him a question before I put his name out there. So, but he told Bishop Whitehead that Larry Reed gave him HIV, right? This is pastor out there that's saying that. Now, Tasha, she wanted the pastor information. Okay, she wanted his information for an interview. Bishop refused to give her the information. If you ask the people in Tasha K camp, my source tell me that they wanted the information that Bishop Whitehead would give her the information, or if she would drag the white man that he did that New Yorker piece. He wanted her, Bishop Whitehead, to have Tasha to drag the white man. Tasha said, no, he's attached to the feds. I don't want to be involved in that, but still give me the pastor information. He refused to give her the pastor information. And so that is when Tasha K, she went on her app about a week or two ago, because most of y'all ain't on that app. She proceeded to drag her field. And I thought it was just, out the way. And I said, what in the world is going on with Bishop Whitehead? Why is she dragging him? And then once I got word, I said, okay, it got to be, because Tasha is just not going to drag you. Something pissing her off to make her drag you. Either she didn't get something, it's just something got to happen. And then once I've got that from the source and from, from this, and then I'll look at Bishop Whitehead, Instagram, like I said, oh, this makes sense. So that's just how that goes in that type of way. Now, when it goes back to this with the Larry Reid piece, Larry is pissed because now he's allegedly, I don't know how true it is, but this is with Bishop, that Larry have given Tasha K some money to be silent. I don't know how true that is. I can't speak on that. I don't know how true that. I don't know her money. I was saying enough for her not to file Chapter 11. But anyway, so that's the rumor. So I'm just listening to all this stuff, and Larry is kind of pissed because he don't want no more allegations to come up. This show about to drop. He just don't want no more allegations to come up, and so it's something that's going on now. You got this whole Tasha K piece that's being rumored that he gave her a lot of money, $100,000, a lot of money, and to keep silent. So now Tasha K has been going on this tirade, and her employees, they don't know their future. Like I said, they don't know their future with the company. The daughter itself is crying because she had to remove her from some classes that she had. She couldn't afford to put her in these particular classes. Her daughter was supposed to go to Paris and spend time with family. That was canceled because Tasha K said, I can't be taking you on all these type of trips and spending all this type of money when I'm trying to file bankruptcy. So it's issues there with her and her daughter. And it is a lot. And in a sense of, I don't feel bad for Tasha K. Neither do I feel bad for her children. Her children, and I don't, because her mom and dad, Tasha and Mr. Kebe, they decided to do this. So I can't be sitting here feeling bad because I can't ignore Cardi B feelings. Because just because Cardi got money, are we just going to ignore the fact that they tried to put a disease on this woman and said that her baby got the disease and all that? So we just got to ignore that, and we just going to automatically just feel sorry for Tasha? No, absolutely not. Tasha had multiple chances to stop doing what she's doing. She didn't do it. She didn't do it. Okay? She didn't do it like that. Tasha and mama and daddy, they got children. She didn't do it. So why would I feel sorry for a woman that had multiple chances to stop doing? She didn't want to do it. Now she's dealing with the end result. She's dealing with the end result of how to play ball. Now she's learned to be a little smart and try to file bankruptcy and try to do all that. I get it. Pay bankruptcy, do all that, try to be smart. But whatever you do, there will be resistance. There will be some challenges. There will be doing some stuff. It's Cardi is not going anywhere. It's clearly in the court documents. You don't even see her. She didn't name none of the money that she owed Cardi B in the money. She just only named. Give me a sec, because if you read the court documents for what is being released, Latasha Kebe, they talk about she's at $46,000 in debt, real estate, $11,000 of personal household items, total finance assets, $95.56, total personal property, $58,595. Then it also said about her Chase account, she only got $95. So it's a lot of things and some lies there, because I talked to some people. They said this ain't some fraud stuff going on with Tasha, because she's claiming, and this a whole lie, because she's claiming I only got $95 to my name. But you got an app, and this is where Cardi B people gonna come in, because these some ruthless people. Now I got to hold on. Let me take myself on camera. Let me word my mouth, because I don't want to get sued by these ruthless people. So give me one quick second. Hold on. Let me do it. Okay. Let me word my mouth. What I'm about to say, this is just my personal opinion. I ain't trying to drag nobody, but I'm gonna say this. Tasha doing a whole bunch of lies, because you cannot tell me that you only got $95 to your name in your account. Then I don't see the payroll of how much is her payroll here, because unless somebody could tell me another document that is missing. She filed this on yesterday. Okay, $95, including the page attached, Let's give me a second. Because that's $46,000, $11,000 household items. Total personal property, $58,595. Okay. Then we also got the Chase account information, $95. Chapter 11. Okay. Filed for bankruptcy. Okay. Her attorney signed off of the bankruptcy. Okay. She is represented now by Olga, which is smart. This particular lawyer is a really good lawyer. Like, he is really, really good. Mr. Van Horn is really a good lawyer when they're talking about bankruptcy. He's really, 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 and she's going to need the best to do it that way. But when she talk about her property is only $58,000. So of course she didn't name that house. She don't own it. I don't think she owned that house. Okay, $58,595. So I think it's the best move. It is the best move. Like, a lot of black people say, "Oh, this," but I said Tasha is in the business. Wealthy people have been playing bankruptcy forever. So you see it right here, 58,000. I'm reading the court. It's on the website, you guys. And also you get on Neighborhood Talk, and then also she talk about her Chase account. But it's some fraud there. Okay. Is she moving some money around? It's not really good. She got to be very careful, because the lawyers ain't gonna like that, because you can't just tell them you got $95 in your Chase account. Where all your money? You know what I'm saying? You got the app money that ain't being talked about. So who got control of that? Because I told y'all the source said that her money was in her mom's name. The app checks coming in her mom's name. So I don't know if she's gonna name her mom as the new owner and then her mother give her a check from the company, because that is what we heard from the source. So it's a lot that is going on with Tasha K. And I'm very interested of that, because the source says the mother's would have, she's gonna pay Tasha as an employee. It's weird, baby. Oh man, Tasha K doing it. I do it too. But so the mother is saying that they're gonna pay, is gonna be the new owner and give her a check as an employee, because mama is good, because mama ain't been sued by Cardi B. Her finance assets ain't been sued. So it's a lot that is going on with it. And I told you, I said these sources are telling me this. And they said, but Wiley, how do you get this information from the sources? I said, I get the information because I'm very well connected with the Kiwi industry, the Kiwi company, because I have some good people that's still dedicated for me, and that I get multiple sources all over that give me information. Now, she's shocked that I get this information, but they connect with our show, and so they give me this information. It is a lot, when it comes to stuff like that. That's why I have the notice of termination, because she got to terminate them employees. She's going to be moving something. She got to play ball that she's broke and that she can't afford payroll and that she needs some type of protection. But she can't go to the bankruptcy people and just say, "Oh, well, I got all this money." You can't be hiding money too, and she's trying to. And so again, them lawyers are not playing. Like, them Cardi B lawyers will just it will be some stuff that's going to be leaked out to the blogs about her finance, about money that she got stashed away and not telling the people. So it's gonna come. She's maneuver around in that type of way. So we gonna see. Like I said, we gonna see in this type of situation. I personally feel like, Tasha K is on a lot, you know what I'm saying? Because she still got to entertain people. Like the source said, she said that Tasha is immediately under a lot of pressure, because it would come a time where she was good at getting information, but it was a lot of things that she couldn't get because they're running through a wall. She wanted the Derrick Jackson wife interview. He said no. Charleston White told her no. So these interviews that she was baking to make money, they all told her no. So she can't. And then where this particular source came to me and said, "Hey, she's coming at and blaming the employees." Like, it was an argument in the space here that she got in Chelsea's face and said, "Your job is to get the interviews. That's what I'm paying you for. And you have failed your job. You're not getting an interview." But like I was telling, I'm gonna say this publicly, that ain't Chelsea's fault. Chelsea is good at what she does. I mean, the emails is very well written. Like her reaching out, her and Jasmine, they're doing what they're supposed to do. She's talking to the ads, but she's representing a sinking ship. Do you hear me? So she's coming at Chelsea and her staff, blaming them. That's the narcissist. You can't blame them when they doing their job. But once they say we represent Tasha K, people pull out. Ad dollars pull out. And also interviews pull out. You're representing a brand that is tarnished. They can only do so much. Once they send them emails out and say they represent, oh no. It was she reached out to I don't know why she did it, but she reached out to Chloe Bailey for an interview. And the team pretty much said, hell no. The public said, no, she ain't coming on your show. Like, Tasha is not only the reason why you see D-list artists, because D-list because that's all she could get. But the people that she's reaching out to is A-list people, like people that's in the news, and they all telling her no. She have no choice but to interview the African preacher or from Florida and get these Florida acts. That's the only people she can get. But the people that she want to interview, oh, they in the news. The Blue Faces, the Krishans, like they're in the news. You know what I'm saying? That's who she want to interview. Because I understand why she want to interview. Not because she want to be their friends, but because I'm guaranteed to get more subscribers. I'm in the subscriber-based thing. This ain't YouTube. These are the paid subscribers. I'm competing with the Netflix. In order for me to get money, I have to get these controversial people on my platform so they can subscribe. She keep getting turned down over and over and over, turned down. Even myself, when I interview people, and they said, my client, one publisher that I really love, he stopped sending me people. He said, Wiley, it's not you, but because of what Tasha K did, she kind of blackballs you YouTubers. And me and you cool. I've sent you clients, but they don't want to come on a YouTuber channel because they're afraid that we're going to drag like how Tasha K did it. And this person, I've been knowing him since 2011. And I was like, well, what's going on? Why I'm not getting clients? You know what I'm saying? Getting these clients because his client lists have changed. He used to just get D-list stars or people that we didn't know. That client is getting kind of nice. So I'm like, okay, I'm reaching out, get him. And then I said, let me call him. Let me sit here and call him. So we get him on the phone. And he said, well, I'm gonna keep it all the way real with you because you never burn me no way. You always ask the people the right question. You never got too messy. But it's an issue because of what Tasha K did. He mentioned her name. Because of the lawsuit that she had with Cardi, a lot of clients don't want to go to YouTuber channels. Like, they just don't. And because I'm kind of attached to Tasha, mind you, this is me. Because I do videos with Tasha, and because Tasha been on my show and all these people don't want to come on. Okay? And I'm not even going to name the artist's name, but it was one artist that he was in the news recently. But because I talk about Tasha a lot, Tasha been on my show a lot, he was afraid that I was going to ask him some questions and do a Tasha K type of interview. And it's sad. So I ain't going to drag the publicist. I understand he got a job to do. We cool, but them people pay his bills. I don't pay his bills. So I understand. I get it. But I didn't understand the effects of it until I talked to this publicist. And then when I talked to another publicist, it's the same thing. Tasha K literally gave YouTube a bad name. Like, she just gave a bad name. So, and I talk about her because she's controversial, because she's bringing the views. But it is sad though, because I really wanted to tell my audience about these people. And I've been going back with this publicist since 2011. He ain't the only publicist I deal with, but he's just the publicist now that's starting to get some clients that y'all know. Okay. It ain't just the clients. I ain't gonna say no names because I don't want to give it away. It ain't just the clients that y'all don't know, I would say. It ain't just the clients. Y'all would know these people that I have their name in the title interview. Y'all would know them. All right, I would just say that, especially if you were in the 80s and 90s and all that, my audience will know these type of artists because I have like a mixture. Y'all would know these people, right? And so it's challenging. It is. It's really, really challenging because you know, we had the Darius on there because of my publicist friend connected me to brother Darius. And now she's interviewing Darius and stuff like that. But Darius ain't been in too much controversy. Kind of late. She interviewed him, but she have no choice but to interview people, whoever she could get on the show. She's definitely doing that as well. But we that's not stopping us to interview. Like, he's gonna try again. That's not stopping it. And he told me to reach out to, and I'm gonna reach out to these artists. I'm not gonna stop, and I have to tell them this is not a Tasha K. I've never done this before, but I'm sending them the questions. Now, I've never sent artists questions. I send them the questions. I give them the background of what I'm going to do. I'm sending them the questions because at first the publisher never asked me. He just allowed me to interview. Now, can you send the questions? So now I send him the questions. So hopefully they will agree to come on the show, and hopefully they will agree to come on so we can definitely get involved into the conversation. But back to Tasha K, and the reason why I put on that notice of termination, because that's the next step. She's going to be terminating a lot of them employees. She don't want to do it because that's going to add more fuel to the fire of people dragging her. But this is the thing. Like, we're so connected to this Tasha K. We're in the algorithm. When I check the ratings, our number one topic, not the people that you think it is Tasha K. My people, I get the most views when I talk about Tasha K because she is so controversial and because she is connected to me. Like, in a sense, because she did a lot of interviews with me. So it is so good when I talk about my views are higher when I talk about Tasha K because Tasha K, out of everybody in this YouTube space, have came on my show multiple times. And recently she came on about a couple of months ago when we were talking about the Levantre. So this is why it is doing that. Now, when it comes to her team, these are, you know what I'm saying? She's going to have to let them go, even though they're not technically like a W-2, W-9. They get paid, they get cash apps and get different things, but and she's trying to give them checks, but some of the checks bounce. So it's a lot of things that are going on with her team. And to Tasha K credit, Tasha told them, you know, go do other things. And so when the source told me that she told them to go do other things, what she was saying is, I don't know if I continue to pay y'all. So before I just completely just let y'all go have other gigs. And that's why Chelsea have been sending people her resume and also doing a course and reaching out to YouTube. None of the YouTubers can afford her, or some don't trust her. The people that do have the money, the Storms, the Armands, these people that do have the funding, Lovely T, that do have the funding to afford her, they don't want to afford her because they feel like she's attached to Tasha, that I don't want you to get to know my business and then you go give it to Tasha K. So that's why she's not going to do that. And before Tasha K had Chelsea, she went to Armand Wiggins, and Armand Wiggins could have hired Chelsea. Armand turned her down because of how she did Jason Lee. A lot of people don't know that. She reached out to Armand Wiggins to get hired with his show. And he thought about it, but she was attached to Jason. He saw how she did Jason. He said, oh, she's messy. I don't want to hire her. And then she went on to Tasha K. But before she went to Tasha, she went to Armand Wiggins and some other people and said, no, she does a great job. I can talk mess about her all the time. But all the commercials that you see, because of Chelsea. When Chelsea came aboard, if I could afford her, I would hire her because she does a good job, which she does it well. I will hire her. She know how to get the stories. She live and breathe the internet. Half the stuff Tasha K talked about, she didn't know none of that stuff. Chelsea give her the rundown. Jasmine, her team, get her rundown, and then she read it from a teleprompter. And when she read it from the teleprompter or get updates in text, that's when she look at her phone because they told her information. She act like she knows. She don't know none of the people, but she have a staff, and that's why you pay your staff to to research things that you ain't really care about and bring it to you, and you put your Tasha K sauce on it. But now that have backfired because Tasha want exclusive to break stories, and nobody's breaking it with her. They're breaking it with her competitors. They're breaking it with her competitors. And she banked on a Nicki Minaj interview. Nicki said, no, she haven't talked to Nicki in so long. She haven't talked to Nicki. So she have recordings of Nicki Minaj. That's a fact. She have recordings of Nicki Minaj. But she's not going to post them recordings like because I always ask the source about it. I said, when is she going to drop the recordings? She said she's not going to drop it now, but she do have some recordings because she played one of the recordings of Nicki Minaj. She played one of the recordings of Nicki, but she said that she do have recordings of Nicki Minaj. And so whenever she get ready to post them, you will see it. It's going to go in the title, and it's all going to be on her app, and that's going to drive traction. But she's skeptical of doing it, and I understand because it's going to be some pushback because she in hopes that she's going to get the Nicki Minaj interview. Nicki have not communicated, came on there and got on the phone with her at all. Like she's giving her the cold shoulder. She's giving her the cold shoulder. And if history serves her right, when you give Tasha K the cold shoulder, she goes on that attack mode. So we will see. And don't be surprised, and it's going to happen when she leaked them conversations of Nicki Minaj. And it's some very damaging information that Nicki shared with her. And that's when Tasha K, when she came on the show, she leaked this out and said, Wiley, she wanted me to sign the NDA. I ain't signing no NDA. That's just the bridge work. So when she posts them emails and them voice recordings of Nicki Minaj, then y'all gonna have to go back to when she said that Nicki Minaj wanted to put her on the NDA. So now because of Nicki, because I wonder, I'm like, why did Tasha K? How did she get information? Well, this source told me because Tasha and her will talk about the Cardi B situation, and while talking about the Cardi B, I think in the source that Nicki forgot that she was on the phone with a blogger because Tasha came to her as a woman, as a regular person, and Tasha did really, really good. But because Nicki shared all that information, and once Nicki started telling people in her inner circle, oh, I told Tasha K this, and once they said, you told her what? Like, we need to put her on an NDA, and then Nicki Minaj tried to put her on an NDA, and Tasha said, no, I'm not doing an NDA. Not because I don't want to do an NDA. Why would I do NDA and I got all this golden information that one day I'm going to have to use? So I don't want to be under no paperwork that forbid me to talk about these private conversations. Okay? So that's just how it's going to happen. So when them recordings come out, it's going to shock the internet. And that's going to bring her. And I told her maybe she should do it because she's guaranteed to get 30 to 40 to 50,000, 60,000 more people to subscribe to the app. And that's what she's going to need, some good liquid cash coming in. She's going to need. And that Nicki Minaj piece will definitely have her on it because you really haven't heard Nicki Minaj come and say the damaging things that she said about Cardi, the damaging things that she is gossip about her own family, and some damaging things that she said about, the husband attached to Jennifer Hughes. She said some damaging things. So a lot of the public didn't really hear it, and some forgot about it. And then whoever, if you heard about it, hear it again, it's going to go on the blogs. They're going to eat it up like a juicy steak. So we're going to see when the recordings come out, you guys. Wow, they're gonna be breaking another story. They're gonna say, wow, we told the truth again. Y'all didn't believe me about that bankruptcy. Y'all thought I was just talking out my ass. And she bankruptcy. Okay? Oh, I got to do the bankruptcy. Oh, Wiley, you told the truth. Yes. And then other bloggers got mad. Let me tell y'all something. They said Wiley been told us that Tasha K was gonna file bankruptcy. And then other bloggers got mad. Bruh, we got the connection. We got the sources. Listen, let me tell you something. I'm getting into media, right? And one thing that I'm learning is never reveal the name of your source. I'm not like my competitors when they trying to release information and it's bad. You never put your source information out there because you're gonna be hard for you to get information, right? Never put their Cash App information out like my competitor did, and now the person that they did, now they're getting they can't even focus right now because all their personal information out there. But anyway, we don't do that. That you don't never reveal your source. Like people tell me stuff all the time. This phone always be on here ringing. I answer it because it's some tea being spilled. So of course I get up. Oh, what? That's going on. Wait a minute. So I'm like, wait a minute. It's some tea that's being spilled here, and I want to listen to the tea. So that's why I automatically get involved in it. And Tasha don't like it. Like Tasha is she don't like it. Her YouTube channel is still being garnished. And so once I get more information, I'm trying to see would that stop the garnishment. I highly doubt it does because this is not a chapter 7, so I'm not clear about a chapter 11. So once I get more information from lawyers, and I will bring it back to y'all, so y'all gonna get that tea. Y'all already got that tea today, but I'm gonna wait till next week because it's the holiday. I'm gonna wait until Tuesday to do more. I'm not gonna give y'all everything in this one video. We're gonna do a whole series of Tasha K. We definitely gonna do it as well, and no other YouTube channel is willing to do it because I've learned something from Tasha, and I also learned people in media, and so that's why I'm so connected. That's why I'm doing City Hall, because I wanted to get my roots and get connected, boots on the ground, get people phone numbers, and then people will give you information. So that's why I'm doing that as well. She want you to pay her and change your 20s or money on it. So that's how that goes. So that's how that goes when it comes to this YouTube space. Like people definitely gets involved into YouTube. And with the thing about Tasha, remember back in the day, she used to get Cash Apps, she used to get Super Chats, she used to get a lot of money, but now it don't really happen. Like now she got to go on the app, and she have no choice but to go give y'all a preview on YouTube because most of her audience on YouTube. Her app is not bringing in the money like that. So because if it was, she won't need to go to YouTube. She have to go to YouTube because most of y'all don't go on the app. I can tell y'all to go on the app because y'all didn't even send the information to Bishop Whitehead. He didn't even know that existed. He's like, what? She said that? He didn't even know. Because most people are not on her app. They're on the YouTube. They're not on the app. And see, I have the connection with the app as well as what she posts on YouTube. Just like right there, I have connection with the app, and I got the connection with the YouTube. Most people don't. Just like the average person are not connected with people when they post on Stationhead, which is stupid because you're not informed, because you don't know what's going on. And that's why we have other YouTubers now that will post what's going on Stationhead. Oh, this is what was said on Stationhead. He said this on Stationhead. And so when that YouTuber did it, now they're getting dragged and get threatened. Yeah. Okay. So they said they don't have the history to be able to tell the real story. That's why flat when they copy. Yeah, because we have the history with Tasha K. We have multiple interviews with Tasha K. We have Tasha K when she came out and said Nikki wanted to do an NDA. We talk about Tasha K. A lot of people kept saying all you talk about is Armand Wiggins. That's about to be old news. It's gonna be a lot. It's gonna be a lot of Tasha K content because she's more in the news. Armand Wiggins, I just talked to him for fun. But who really brings me clicks and views? Tasha. I talked about Armand Wiggins. It's fun. I'm kidding. I'm like a kid in the playground. Kidding. Believe me, I'm kidding. But the people that brings me clout is Tasha. And she knows this. Put her name in the title. It's so much history. And she got a lot more stuff. So I wanted her to file bankruptcy. I want, Cardi B lawyers to challenge it and continue to do their dirty work because it's more content. The viewers, y'all are entertained by this. I want this. I want her to give those employees those pink slips because they're going to start to talk. They're going to start spilling tea, leaking recordings. Chelsea got a plenty of recordings of Tasha. One thing I can say about Chelsea, she does have, whenever she's ready to birth her YouTube career, they said she have multiple recordings, private recording, intimate recordings of Tasha K crying, of Tasha K arguing with her husband. Chelsea got all that evidence. And she said, whenever they fall out, when she's going to birth her YouTube career, she's going to use every single one of those recordings, and it's going to make her a household name in this sector. So whatever she does, it's going to happen. So she definitely had that as well. So she got a lot. So she ain't just going to be spilling the beans without no receipts. She know the game, and she have her own. So receipts that go all the way back to 2019, 2020, 2018, 2019. She got receipts on top of receipts of Tasha K. Private recordings of her speaking about different things. Okay, it's gonna be lit. So when that happened, I told you that's gonna be really, and it's gonna help this sector get a lot of views. You're gonna see a lot of new talent that you haven't seen that's gonna come and be birthed once Chelsea leaked those recordings. Definitely gonna happen because she's really good at how she does dirt. So she's gonna do that to birth her career, because right now nobody's checking her out with her career. Because of that. And I think what will make her turn against her if she can't get any more money from Tasha. Because again, Chelsea still got to eat. Chelsea is a very expensive girl. She got multiple apartments. So in order to keep that money flowing in, she have to be that entity to drag Tasha K in order to cater to those advertisers that she's going to get. And of course, she's going to get a lot of the advertisers that Tasha K once enjoyed. Chelsea that will be hers, because she got the email list. She got all of that email list when it comes to that. And a lot of people keep saying, is Chelsea your source? No, Chelsea is not my source. We have multiple people in there. We have multiple sources. It ain't just one person, because a lot of people, y'all only know about 2 employees in Tasha K camp, Chelsea and Jasmine. But Tasha K have about a minimum of 10 to 11 people, probably 12, right? Because you just got somebody else. So it's not just 2 people. Tasha K got about 10 people or more that works with her company, right? She is multiple people that sends me information about Tasha K. So we all through that. It ain't just no one person, and it ain't no Chelsea, right? But I will tell you this. It's I want to say this because I want y'all to hear me. It's a sinking ship. You know, when you're on a ship, you can see the water coming in. It's a sinking ship. So that is how it feels. The morale is just down. You can tell because Jenny had told me that I could tell in the content the morale is down. Tasha K morale is down. She's not the same person like she was. The content is not doing what it once was doing. It's just not. When she go live, she's under so much stress, she's using the restroom a lot on camera. It ain't the same way it was. Her Friday night specials have not been lit lately. Like tonight probably was lit because she's in drama, but that's every blue moon. But back in the day, most of her fuckery Fridays, it would be so lit, ladies and gentlemen, that I would end my show to go watch Fuckery Friday. Do you know if I ain't got nothing to watch, I go to watch Fucking Friday? But this is what I do when I go watch it. It's sad to say this about Tasha. I will fast forward. I will see what she said, fast forward, and then get to that one main topic that she talk about. That's it. Because most of the crap that she talk about in Fuckery Friday, give me y'all an example how I watch her. Give me let me go to her page. I go to her page, right? I click on the video. And I go by the thumbnail. She got Bishop Whitehead. She got Latasha Scott. She got Derek. So what I do, I fast forward, 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 fast forward. And then the last piece that I do, I just watch her I just watch the juicy stuff. Then I bring it back to I put the Wiley sauce on it. That's it. I used to watch every single subject. Not anymore, because most of the crap is bull crap, because she ain't gonna do them to give you regular commentary. She ain't gonna give you that Tasha K drag. Because she did, my phone will blow up. My phone haven't blown up about Tasha K in a long time. I'm talking about her content. Stuff is blowing up about her personal life, right? But not about her content. Back in the day when Tasha, my phone, bing, 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 bing. Not anymore. And baby, them Fridays be just as dry as it happened, because nobody's really checking for her like they used to. I showed y'all the clicks and views. Her views have dropped. She's not in people's titles as they used to. We're probably one of the last ones that talk about her so much now. But everybody else, they don't talk about Tasha K like they used to. Tasha K used to go in the title multiple times. They don't talk about her like they used to. She's under a lot of extreme stress. And so people was like, oh, Wiley, I feel so bad for Tasha K and her children. I don't. Because she had multiple opportunities. Tasha, this was all fun. When the judge tell your lawyer that you need to go back to the first year in law school, that was a sign, okay, let me settle. Tasha admitted in the video on Tasha K on her app that you can't hardly unsubscribe to. I should have did what Star Marie did, because Star Marie just got a default judgment and had to pay $100 and some $1,000, and we can't find her. You should have did a default judgment and paid $100 some thousand. It would have been okay. It would have been less than $4 million. But because you decided to go with an inexperienced attorney and you are a controversial blogger, instead of you listening to, and then the source did, Olga told her to settle. So I got to say this, what this source told me. And we're not giving this enough credit. This person told me, Olga told her to settle. Multiple times told her to settle the lawsuit. Settle. Tasha told her, no, do not settle. But she told her, you need to settle. But a lawyer can't override the client. The lawyers went over the client. But she should have settled. And that's where a lot of people don't give Olga her credit. Because Olga did tell Tasha, you need to settle. Tasha override it and said, nope, we're gonna ride it till the wheels fall off. Now the wheels is off. Was it a dumb move? Absolutely, it was dumb. Because she wouldn't have to file bankruptcy. Her checks wouldn't have gotten garnished. She wouldn't have to put stuff in her mom's name. Her son would not be over there trained to be an African soldier. None of this stuff would have been going on. Her daughter wouldn't have to get out of the programs here. Her daughter would be able to be in there, in Paris, having a good time. They wouldn't have been shipped into one state to another state. She would have been thriving. She wouldn't have been blackballed like she's blackballed now. And now you got to go through that. And now you want sympathy, but people ain't giving her the sympathy. The majority of the people said, take it all. You had Roland Martin told in the chat, in the comments, take it all. That's what he told her. So you got a couple of people saying, oh, they feel sorry, but she need allies and YouTubers to echo that, and they ain't echoing it at all. Because all of them, they're in their own beefs. They can't even focus on Tasha K. They are all of them in lawsuits with each other. Okay? They in multiple lawsuits with each other. They have multiple beefs. They talk about Wiley bankruptcy, which we strategically put out because we knew she was going to file bankruptcy. So I said, okay, I need this to be a little faster. So out of the blue, a couple of days ago, I posted about my bankruptcy. I'm gonna get the clout. And then poof, she talk about hers. You hear that? So now all the YouTubers that wanted to drag Wiley, they got to talk about Tasha K. Baker and hers more news because it's on more publications. All right. As you can see, where these YouTubers now talking about bankruptcy, they ain't talking about hers, talking about her bankruptcy. Hers is actually in the doc, and it's way more debt. She's in way more debt than Brother Wiley, and most of the debt when I filed Chapter 7 was discharged. Hers can't even be discharged like the debt that I was in. And she got employees that they don't even know if they're going to have a job coming up in a couple of days. Remember that? We put all Wiley's stuff out there. Because I want to be in the news. So y'all come right back. When Wiley did say that she was going to file bankruptcy, because I immediately, my phone was blowing up. Like, it was so many texts from people all over sending me love. All over sending me love. It was all over. Cardi even pleaded with her and said, we don't need to do this. You're a mother. I'm a mother. And what did she do, your next ex? She went and she dragged Cardi B. She went and dragged her. That's exactly what she did. She went and dragged her. Cardi even pleaded. Absolutely. So we gonna open up the phone lines. Give me a second. I might go to a little bar. Let me check my friend. Cause this is a celebration. I need to celebrate. Cause we got an exclusive that came out that she filed bankruptcy. So I need to celebrate. Hey.
Hey, what's up?
What you doing today?
Right now I'm just at the house too.
Oh, so you don't want to go out for drinks?
I don't know. I'm just kind of out of it. I was locked up. I've been locked up. So
why you ain't call me? What's going on? You want me to come over and talk to you?
I'm good right now. I got locked up Monday night and didn't get out till Tuesday night.
Okay, you want me to come over and talk to you?
I'm fine right now. I'm just got a lot going on. I got to go back to court in June and just trying to keep a positive headspace and staying out the way and shit.
Well,
and it's just crazy because I got to come up with $1,500. I'm not working and all this other shit. There's just a lot of shit going on in my life right now that I'm really trying to keep my head up. That's all I can say right now.
Yeah, I've been there. I know I've walked in the same shoes as you. Because, when I messed up the library, I thought I was going to be in prison for 10 years. And I thought I was going to get gamed. They were going to take my cookies. I forgot I was a homosexual at the time. I thought they was going to take my man. I thought they was going to take my manhood.
We be the first offender, so
I was the first offender too. So if you need me to come and, talk to you and, we can drink and stuff, I can take you out to drink. It's my treat and stuff like that. You need to just drink. Can you drink?
I could drink. I'm not on any drug thing or anything until I go back to court. I'm pretty sure that they're gonna put me on probation and put me in a drug program because they found mushrooms on me that I didn't even know that they were illegal. Someone gave them to me for anxiety, and come to find out that they were illegal. So I didn't even know. So
I'm about to come on so we can drink and stuff.
But give me a moment. I don't have. I gotta put some clothes on or whatever, and I'll call you back.
Okay, I'm here for you, man. Cause cause you was there for me when I went through my thing.
It just sucks because now I gotta figure out a lot of shit. It's a lot of shit that just is. It's like one thing after another. Like I'm trying so hard. I really am.
Yeah, I understand. I've been there, and there's one thing I know: you only live once, and it's your first offense. You're not gonna go to prison. They're gonna get you on deferment, and so you ain't gonna go to prison, bro.
Well, I'm not worried about that. I just fucking hate that now I have a felony under my name.
I don't think necessarily you're gonna have a felony on your name. They'll probably give you a deferment. And you go to a drug abuse program and a rehab and stuff. So no, this is your first offense. Mm-mm, mm-mm.
One of my friends said that they might dismiss it.
Yeah, like because that's what I thought. Oh, go ahead, but it's your first offense. They're gonna give you like a diversion program and stuff like that. Tell them that you have a drug, you need to go to rehab and blah blah blah. You good, you'll be good.
Rehab, man, I ain't got no drug problem.
You better tell them, hey, I need to go to rehab and all that, and proving out that this is your first offense. Yeah, you good, yeah. And then you know when you get your, because I had a lawyer and he do a payment plan, but you can do it with a public defender and stuff. They pretty good.
I can get a public defender, but the thing about it is, do public defenders really be on the person's side?
But you have to stay on top of your public defender too.
Yeah.
Like, and then because it's literally like your first offense. Like you didn't have no weapons on you. It's just drugs. Yeah, so it's you just do your little diversion program and stuff like that. So you guys and stuff like, because I haven't seen you. I just touched down in Texas, so I just wanted to see you and stuff.
Oh, you just got back in town?
Yeah, I just got back a couple of hours ago. I went to sleep because I had to do what I had to do. I was on a no touch myself for 90 days. I couldn't even do that. So today my hormones was like through the roof. So I went on my OnlyFans and I saw some videos. And so when I went to sleep and then now I'm up and I thought about you. I said, oh, let's go out for some drinks. I'm ready to get effed up.
I thought you don't drink.
Well, every once in a while I got on my Hennessy is everything shirt. So now I just want to, I drink every I drink a little every once in a while, and it's Friday. It's Friday. It's Memorial Day weekend, so a little turned up. And I got you. I'm here for you. I love you.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get myself together. I've been in my house just kind of just watching TV and just in and out of thoughts and stuff. So let me just.
Yeah, you need to get out the house because that's how I used to be. I used to be in my thoughts and I'm going to jail forever, and it didn't even happen like that. So I'm here for you. If you need a shoulder to cry on, I will be that shoulder.
All right, let me get myself together and I'll call you back.
All right. Okay. Okay. Oh man, okay. All right. Little black boy, you're beautiful. Little black girl, you enough. When times get hard, first. Okay. All right. Do y'all want me to go live? I mean, do y'all want me to open the phone lines? Man, I wasn't planning on that, child. Okay. Somebody said the blood of Jesus. Oh wait, let me sing happy birthday to somebody. Somebody gave me. I'm sorry, Christina Moore. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Christina Moore. Happy birthday to you. May the good Lord bless you. Come on, y'all. May the good Lord bless you. May the good Lord bless you, Casino more. May the good Lord bless you. Yes. Okay. So let's see if we can open up the phone lines. Okay. All right. So if y'all want me to sing happy birthday, y'all got to give. If you're a member, it's free because y'all already paid money being a member. But if you want me to sing you happy birthday, send me a Cash App or then because I can't do it for everybody. Okay. But I will do it for the members. That's part of the perks of being a member. So you're gonna do that as well. May the good Lord bless you. All right, let's open up the phone line. Let's open the phone lines. Okay, let's open up the phone lines. Okay, all right. You know that. Yeah, because I can't sing happy birthday for everybody. Okay, become a member, all that. Tomorrow, members, we got a members only live just doing it tomorrow. So make sure y'all come through for that. We got a members only live for y'all tomorrow. There's a lot of things that we didn't talk about on YouTube that we're gonna talk about on members only tomorrow. So we're gonna get y'all support tomorrow. Okay. We're gonna get y'all support tomorrow. Callie, you know, that's how it is. Okay. It's Gemini. Happy birthday, Gemini's. Happy birthday. Tomorrow week is gonna be tomorrow about like 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow. Members. So I'm gonna post it on there. I'm gonna do a time for y'all and put 3 different times because I'm probably gonna do 6, 7, or 8. And in whatever time y'all agree upon, that's the time that we're gonna do it. Okay. We're gonna do a time for that. And also for people that want to come on. So we're gonna do 3 different times. That whatever get the most votes is at the time that we'll come on for tomorrow. We ask that y'all do participate. This is our first that we haven't done. And the members only, we will post it on there due to the fact that we're doing it on Zoom. The fact is, because Zoom, everybody get to participate. Because sometimes the Patreon was complaining, I don't have the same access. So we put it on Zoom so all of y'all can participate. And we're going to upload it for y'all can catch the replay. So it's going to give me a little time because I have to blur out y'all names on Zoom, right? I have to blur out y'all names on there. And then we're going to post it on YouTube for the public. I'm sorry, for y'all to catch the replay. The people that is not a member on there as well, you all would see clips of it, so they will encourage y'all to do it. We have one, there was some arguments on there, so we have posted like clips of that. Also, too, anybody can speak on the members only because we had a lot of people that was on there speaking, and it was going to it was lit. It was so lit. It was a lot of people was on there speaking on there. So anybody can speak on there on Zoom. Absolutely, it's gonna be lit. Anybody can speak on there on Zoom. It was lit, okay? It was so lit and everything like that. So give me a second. It was lit. It was lit. Anybody could be on there speaking. Anybody could be on there speaking. Okay. And so make sure y'all get your memberships. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really, really fun when it came to some. Shout out to my niece. She was on there singing on Station Head with me. And somebody was cussing me out. And so my niece was like, who cussing out my uncle? If you cuss out my uncle, oh, I'm so adorable. My niece was so adorable. Because I don't want to be rude. Like my niece is so adorable because somebody was cussing me out on Station. And somebody cussing out my uncle. If you cuss out my uncle, I'm gonna throw them out my niece. My niece so adorable. So we was out there singing. We was doing karaoke. So of course we're gonna do karaoke on Zoom. So y'all see it. My niece was so adorable. And we just creating these memories. And somebody said your niece gonna always remember singing with her uncle. And my nieces, they're gonna because the reason I love my family, I love my nieces, and I love my nephews. I love all my nieces and nephews. But when my sister kids is that because I see them every day when I'm there, I don't see my brother's kids, so I got to get to know them as well and see them. And so that's what I'm trying to bring them as well. Yeah, your niece was ready to go toe to toe with that dude. Yes. So we was having a good time. So my nieces, they want to go to the Little Mermaid. So I'm trying to find like Little Mermaid outfits for my nieces to go. I want to take a lot of my nieces and nephews, but of course, I'm gonna need another adult because it's a lot. It's about 10 of them. So I need some other adults to go with me if they come with me. Because it's gonna be fun. But my niece, she really want to go. She really want to spend time with her uncle. My other niece, she want to come, and I never took her out before, so I want to take them as well. I want to take all my nieces and nephews, and we just have a good time in the movies and talk with their parents and see if they want to bring them as well. It'd be really, really fun because I would love to be. And I never been. I went to a child movie before with my niece, and it was packed. Them kids was everywhere. They all wanted popcorn, slushies, and everything. So I'm excited to see my family and stuff. So I'm gonna bring my sister with me because, like I said, my baby niece, she's not gonna cooperate. She's gonna be in that crash. So if my sister come, it'll be fine, and everything like that. And then if my friend, and then if her daughter come, she bring her friends. I do want other adults in it because it's gonna be a lot of children there because this movie is very popular. And so I want to definitely make sure we got a lot of adult supervision. And if the kids are gonna eat popcorn, slushy, they gotta go to the restroom, and I ain't got time to be trying to go take them to bring, so I need my sister there with me. So it's a lot with that. And so it's gonna be super, super fun. I'm building these memories with my niece and them because again, my niece, she's very smart. She does really good in school. She want to do gymnastics as well. So I'm trying to get my money together and put her in gymnastics because she always do a backflip. She said, "Uncle, I really want to do gymnastics, and I really want to be there for my sister to help her with my nieces because they need a father figure. They need some positive energy with male energy, like being somebody that's positive, and so in their life. And so that's why I try to go there and work and do my show, so they know what I do. They know I do YouTube. They are big fans of YouTubers, and I love the YouTubers that they watch because they're so active and they're young. Like my niece keep me active on um uh TikTok. Yeah, so I'm taking them to go see Little Mermaid because my niece, she kept saying she want to go to see the Little Mermaid, and then I want to take them to a nice restaurant and everything. So I may do the Uber Black, I don't know. But if my sister would get in her car, but I love my nieces, my sister, so I'm spoiling them, but it's okay. I'm going to take them to go see Little Mermaid. They're sporting them. I could have been my nephew. You would have Cresta back out only 6, but you would think he was the son. So I love my niece, and I really want to, have a good time with my family. And she think I got them spoiled, but I really do. I probably do got them spoiled because they get anything that they want. If they want candy, ice cream, I love my nieces and stuff like that. I try to be a little strict, but they're my nieces, so I try to be a little strict, and it don't be working. I be like, you ain't getting that, and then in about 5 minutes they get everything that they asked for in the beginning. Okay, so I'm gonna be there with my nieces and have them go and take them to a nice restaurant. I really want them to experience. I'm gonna take them out to another place, probably not Navy Pier because they're not old enough to experience Navy Pier, but it's other places where they can go to take them out. And then I'm trying to spend time with my other nieces and nephews and everything. So I'm gonna get some more air mattresses because it's a lot of them. It's about, my brother got 6 kids. My sister got 2 kids. My brother got 6 kids. I got another brother. He got a daughter, so I want to spend time with her. But he's like locked down, He got re-locked up. So I'm trying to build that relationship with her and stuff. But her mom, she was like, I don't know because your brother did me dirty. And I'm like, this ain't about my brother. This is about me spending time with my niece. And let me dive into that. Like, then I told her, I said, you come too. But I think, and I was telling her, I've been knowing her for a while. I was telling her, I was like, look, listen. I said, my brother may not be the best father, but he do have siblings that we're here. I'm that's my niece. I want to get to know my niece, and I want her to know that she do have people that do love her. So if I'm taking the rest of the nieces, I want her to come too, and you come so you can see, you can build that trust, so you can see, everything like that. But just don't think just because he's not active that he don't have siblings that are willing to be active for my niece. So I love her. I want to get to know her and get to know you. We are all a family. And I got another nephew. We built he, and this is something I forgot that I'm an uncle. So we dropped him off at home. He's like, bye, Uncle Marquise. I'm like, oh, yeah. And I cried because I'm literally an uncle. Like, I'm an adult, you know what I'm saying? And I'm an uncle. So I have to like talk to my brothers and they baby mamas. And I talked to another one of my brother, and she was kind of pissed. And I kind of like be that bridge, that gap. And I'm always there. They always know, what do my nieces and nephews need? I understand you want to be my brother. He this, he crap, and whatever. That's your person. But my concern is the children, right? I want them to have a good life. So I want them to go to movies. I want them to, go and participate in activities. So they don't just see the parents just y'all going back and forth, because I don't want them to think that we all this way. We're not. So that's like my first that's my first priority. So when I get on the phone with them, it's like they want to complain about my brothers, and I let them complain. I never involve and join the bashing session of my brothers, because those are still my brothers. But I'm gonna give you the common courtesy. I get on one of my brother baby mama, and she get on that cussing about how he do this, how he cheated, stuff like that. And I very softly I said, how can I be a help to your daughter, because that's my niece. And she want to get to know, because the last time she was here for Thanksgiving, we it was great. We had fun. She was teaching us about, she was teaching us about the Cuban the Cuffit challenge, about the Beyonce challenge. She really loved us, and I really want to with the relationship and stuff like that. And I said, sleep on it, because we want to be active with the family, with nieces and nephews. Like, just sleep on it. And so she did send me a text that she might let the kids come over or stuff like that. And then I'm going to help my mother out, because she got a big backyard. We could barbecue and all of that. And then I said, adults, we can drink, and I get the drinks. And so, like, we can have a lit time. So it's a lot that we can do. And I try to help as much as I can. They said that's sweet. Why did my brothers help me with my two daughters? My brother is the best when it comes to his nieces. Yes. So Wiley, your cover child was hilarious. But my niece, she was trying to teach us, and she told me, Uncle, you did it wrong. I'm just moving my big old wide self. But I was just so happy we had a lit time, and majority of us was there. Like, my brother, he wasn't arrested, and I get it. And this is the thing: I don't judge my brothers, right? I don't judge them in a sense, because I said something to my sister, and we was talking to her. I said my brother is addicted to the streets, because I told my sister, I said I can't come at my brother hard. Give me a second. Let me blow my nose, and I'm gonna get it. All right, I can't come at my brother hard. You know what I'm saying? I could be like, oh, you shouldn't do the streets. Get out your life together. Because that ain't gonna work with him. So he have to experience this, right? I give him advice. So me and my brother, we were talking before I came to Chicago. I said, brother, I said, I have an apartment, and we can go in business together, and I can get the proposals together. We can go and cut grass. We can get our lawn service together, right? He said, brother, that's a good idea. I really need to leave Chicago, leave these streets alone. I'm a father. And I said, yeah, man, like, Texas is great, because, I moved back to Chicago, but I don't think the city ain't just for you because of the streets. So I said, do you want to go? And then no answer. So he said, let me think about it. So we get to Chicago, and my mind is set up. I'm like, I think we should do this, cut grass and do all this, because you say it's hard for you to get a job because you're on parole. And I understand that, but it's ways to make money. So and I really wanted to talk. I got up that morning of last week, him and his girl was over. They left. I said, but where my brother at? They was like, he gone. And then I got a phone call later that night, and they said your brother was arrested. And then his girlfriend called me and said, he wants you to blast the police department on your platform. I said, blast them about what? So immediately I put on my reporter hat. So we called the police department, and they said, your brother was not attacked. And so we filed a citizen complaint on his behalf, because if he claimed that this has happened, I'd rather file it, let y'all investigate, than don't file it, y'all don't care. And I kept telling the people that, I said, he have people that really care about him. So then we get my brother on the phone, and he was talking about what happened. He said a gun was found in the car, and I said, this is not good. I'm just listening to him as well. So I'm just listening. Then we tried to bail him out. Then he let one of his girlfriends be over his money. She just went on a spending spree. I'm like, what's going on? My sister, she pissed off. And when my sister is pissed, Ain't no stopping it. I mean, she was cussing the lady out, and I said, "Stop." So I get on the phone. I'm the calm one, right? I ain't cussing. So she upset, she crying. I said, "Listen, I'm not. We gonna cancel the card. It is what it is. I'm not angry. I just want to get the facts and see what's going on with my brother and everything. So I'm not angry. I'm not my sister. I apologize on her behalf, but I'm just trying to get the information on what's going on." So once we canceled the car, we had to sit down. I said, "Okay." Then my mom and they trying to get a lawyer to help him out. But I kept telling them, I said, "I think that he's addicted to the streets." And so, he loved the streets. My brother been in the streets since he was about 13, 14 years old. And the reason why I preach family so much, um, reason why I preach family so much, because I understood when my father, their father, their father, right? When he broke up with my mother, they both were toxic people. My mother was extremely into alcoholism. She was a cheater. My stepfather was a cheater. They both cheated a lot. And my brother that's close to me in age, he and I would get woke out of our sleep by my stepfather, and we would go look for my mother because my mother had another dude. So my father would go and take us around the city, and we would just go around. We were kids, but I was a little bit older, so I remember him crying, looking for my mother, and then he also would cheating. Then my mother would take me when she would cheat. We would travel. She was dating a truck driver, Daryl, and we would travel around Illinois where person with her husband, and then she went on and cheated as well. Then my dad, he started cheating on her, and then it was like a big commotion about the whole situation. Then gunshots was spilled because my daddy pulled out a weapon, tried to delete my mom and try to delete the guy that she was sleeping with, and then she stepped in front of it. She almost lost her life. So it was a lot of drama, a lot of toxic stuff. This is why I don't judge my brothers like I judge them, how toxic they were, how they. Give me a second. I don't give me a second. How toxic I was. Hold on, it's the internet, y'all. It's the internet. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Or give me a second here. How I don't judge them. Let me know if y'all can hear me. With them, with their children, because I understand what they went through. I understand because I lived within that household. So I understand the drama that my brothers they're going through with their children, because I understand what we were raised under. It was a lot of toxic energy. My mother was she was addicted to alcohol, right? And it was clear as day. Like it's the weekend and it's Memorial Day on 440 West 103rd Place. That was where we used to live in Chicago, Illinois. The police will be called. This is Friday night. Everything is good Monday through Friday during the day. But soon as the weekend, my mother would drink heavily. She was a functioning alcoholic. Well, she drink, but she really got drunk on the weekends, right? And so the police would be called. Fights, drama. It would be a lot of drama. The police would be called, and it was a lot. And I didn't never understand why my mother was drinking. At that time, I didn't know. I just knew that mama would drink it, and she would take out a lot of her frustration on her children. She wasn't physically abusive, but she was verbally abusive. The things that she would say about me, about my other siblings, about she never wanted her sons to be in the LGBT community. A lot of words that she would spread. A lot of things she said about her then husband, about and then her friend. She had a relationship with him, a affair with him, and she's with him to this day. So it was a lot of drama when we were raised with my brothers and sisters, right? Then the mental illness piece came up with my brother. It hit him first. It hit him hard because he was in and out of the mental institution. He would cry. He didn't know what was going on. It hit him hard. And that was soon when my father, their father, right? That's my stepfather. He's my father. Soon he left. I saw the shift in my siblings. Now, mind you, I left outside the home when I was about a kid. Before I became a teenager, I moved with my grandmother because it was just so toxic. I needed to be free. It was just extremely toxic. Sometimes the lights would get cut off, the water would get cut off, the bills would get cut off. My mom and them, they were just bad with money. My father, her husband, would just spend money on things that didn't make any sense. He would expand the house, get things added onto the house, and before he paid the bills get cut off, and it was just a lot that was going on. My mother had multiple incomes because I was getting a social security check, she was working, and her husband was working. So it was 3 checks coming into the house, and it just, you couldn't tell because things were getting cut off left and right. And so I said, I want to move. So I decided to move with my grandmother. And one of my grandmother's rules were church. You got to go to church. And was never a church person because my mother only had us going to church when it was Easter, Christmas, and Easter. Right, those were the main time we would go to church for special holidays, and mainly Christmas and Easter. But we never kids that went to church every Sunday. But my mother, when she was a teenager, when she was a kid, she was in church. Her father was a preacher. She was a pre-K. Her father was a preacher. My grandfather was a preacher. She was a pre-K, and her mother was in the church. They was active in the church. It was my grandfather, and I recently found this out, that brought my grandmother to church. That brought him to church. The church that my grandmother still attends today, it was because of my grandfather told her about True Church of Holiness, and that one what made her move to True Church, become a member at True Church. I didn't know this until my mother recently gave me the history. So then once we got into church, and then my mother and stuff like that, it's just the drama, the drama about her. And I just I just eliminated my relationship with my mother, meaning I turned it off. I didn't call her, I didn't email her, I didn't text her, I didn't have a cell phone there, but it was no communication. When she would go to the hospital, I didn't go, I didn't care. To me, on that time, my mother was dead to me. There was no relation. I didn't agree with the drinking. It affected me so much. I hated my mother. I disdained my mother. I didn't even want my mother around because I could just tell when she's drunk. I could smell it on her. I was ashamed of her. Like when she would come and visit, I would pretend like I'm asleep, or I would do extra after school activities. I wouldn't even come home to see my mother. I just was so ashamed of her during that time. And so once my mother and them, once they had to move from 440 West 103rd place, they moved to 6503 South Justine, right on the corner of 65th and Justine. And this is when I knew like my brothers had shifted. Then the streets. I remember the day my brothers got into the gangs. I was offered to get into the game, but I turned them down. I said, no, I'm not with that. I'm good. I'm just gonna stay in school. I'm in church. I'm good. Like it was good. It was tempting because they were making money I never seen before. And they call it a trap house. It was a house that was on the block we call it the Blue House, and it was whatever you can want: drugs, weapons, money. I would never forget. I went in this house and I saw number just cash and just dope and drugs. I never seen it like that. I'm like, man, it was so tempting because like my friends that I grew up with, they didn't have nothing, and they were making good money, having nice cars, and it was very tempting. It was. But it was the reality set in because some of my people started to in their life started to go, and they started going to prison. So I said, this ain't for me, you know what I'm saying? And I had another friend. I'm not gonna say his name because people don't like me saying his name because what he did in the street. So I'm gonna just say I had a friend, and this particular friend, you wouldn't even know it. He would just be out. He was the assassin, if that makes sense. He would be taking people out. So, but we were real cool, you know what I'm saying? And we was real cool. And he would always, I got the itches, or I gotta take it wasn't no ops then. They weren't using the word ops. You gotta take people out. And he would just take people out. And then we would go, he would come to, we would eat, like nothing happened. He just didn't wiped out 3 people, right? But you know what I'm saying? It bothered him because he kept saying, man, I look up to you. I see you in church, and I'm gonna come to church. I said, man, you should come to church, man. Ever, because I was actively in church. Yeah, come to church. You know what I'm saying? And dang, man, I'm gonna come. And it was a Sunday. It was like clockwork because my grandma would get up, she would cook for the church, and she would have stuff in boxes and pans, and I would have to bring that down into the car. So I saw my friend say, "Hey man, we got to link up, got to link up, bro." And I was like, "Yeah, we got to link up." So I'm putting this stuff in the car, minding my business, putting this stuff in the car. I hear, like what? And he just got right there. He just got deleted, like boom, and I heard the car and I saw, and they come down the block, and they kind of stopped and looked at me, and I was like, and I just put my hands up. I'm like, and I had on my church clothes. He said, let's go, let's go. He saw, and then they just moved on. They could have deleted me, but because they didn't, by the grace of God. And so my friend, I just remember he was just in the streets, like, and I just called. I told him, we call 911. And we call 911. So I go there, and he just got deleted right there. And his mom came, his uncle came, and that was like my first time seeing like a parent just crying for her baby. Oh, they took my baby. And then people in the street, who cares? Your baby was there. They was talking about it. Was so much resistance. And so the police had to come, because this person that they deleted is going to trigger it's going to trigger a gang war. So police come, and so they question me. They questioned me, and I just denied it. I didn't want to get involved, because I didn't want to put, not only I want to stand up for my friend, absolutely, but it drilled in me, don't be no snitch, and I didn't want to put my grandmother at risk, because we right here in the hood. My grandma ain't gonna leave, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't say nothing. I didn't say a word. Did you see what was going on? Da 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 da. I said, no, sir. I didn't see anything. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I didn't see nothing. Nope. I didn't see none. I didn't see him get deleted. I didn't see the people that did it. That was all a lie, because I said it, but I didn't corroborate, because I didn't know, and I just didn't corroborate. I didn't. I was 16, 17 years old. I was scared. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to get involved. I did not want to get involved. I didn't want to go and cooperate with the cops. I didn't want to go. I felt for my friend. Um, but it was a scripture that came up, and I used to always quote it: "You live by the sword, you die by the sword." So I knew what he was doing, and I said, "Oh wow, this was that scripture. You live by violence, you're gonna get taken out by violence." So that's what happened. So I never wanted to get involved my with that situation. So it was extremely sad. And then I saw everyone's, and I said, okay, you know what I'm saying, it's a side. And people kept saying, you know what I'm saying, Wiley, you next, and all that type of stuff, and little words and little different stuff. It was so bad, like I couldn't hardly walk down the street. It was just bad. It was literally a bad time on the block. The block was hot. It was extremely intense. I used to have dreams about it, and I still think about my friend daily. He's still fresh in my mind. The conversation that we had. I mean, he was very smart. I mean, good looking. He had all the bad women. You know what I'm saying? He was a teenager, but he was a grown man. He was a father. He was out in them streets, and it matured him so much. Like even though he was 17 years old, it matured him. He matured a lot, I would say, because of the streets. We both went to the same Perkins Bad Elementary School. We was in school together, in class together, but it was the streets, and it was sad because his family was in the streets. He was just dealt a bad hand. I believe that if he was in a different neighborhood, a different zip code, I don't think his story would have ended the way it ended. But it was sad. And so that was one of the occasions happening. And my brothers, they was in the lifestyle. So then it was another situation because of that same incident. It was like a gang war. So it was a guy, and I was going to visit my mother, because mind you, they lived on 6503 South Justine. So I'm going to visit my mother. And I said, another associate, friend, neighbor, I know of him. We all in the same neighborhood. And they wanted him bad. It was already a target as bad. He knew his life was he was going to go because of the things that he did. So he was running. So finally they caught up with him. He came outside. It was quite good. It was in the morning for that. He was running. I mean, he was running up trying to get to a little hiding spot. He couldn't open up that back door. They ran up there and got him. Boom, 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 right there. And like my cousin came in, and then I kind of like rushed to get in the house, and I fell like in the entryway, and I saw they got him right there. And then wow, like it literally got him, like they got him. So I just saw that, These were young black men. Their life was just ending like flies. And that affected me too. Again, the police come, they question us and blah, blah, blah. I didn't cooperate with that either. Because again, I just didn't want to get involved. Again, you got to understand the cards that I was dealt. It was instilled in us to do not snitch. It was instilled in us that was don't break the street code. It was instilled in us, and we just didn't trust the cops. We just didn't trust the popo, and I didn't want to get involved, and I did not want to testify because you got to understand, you got to test. I'm not testifying these people that know me and know my family. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just not gonna do it. And my family didn't have the money to ship me nowhere. What are they gonna ship me? So I said I didn't want to put my people at risk, or I didn't cooperate for that either. So it was a lot of things that in the neighborhood didn't cooperate either. But I knew it what happened, and I saw the shift of the block. And I could just take y'all on 65th and just say and show y'all and pinpoint when people lost their lives. And then I saw the shift in the block when I got into my 20s. All the blue house, they got they parents, their grandmothers lost the property. And it was time for them to leave it because they would break down the door. They would get arrested. Like they just knew to come in that house. It got so many times got raided, and then eventually they lost. So crime went down. Then there was another block called, another building, and I'm not gonna say these people's name. Gotta be careful saying people's names. Their grandmother, she died. So then they sold the property. Then crime went down. All the people they left because when grandma died, they got all them young men. So crime went down. So I just woke up one day and all of the crime that was going on the block just eliminated. It was gone. And the reason why the crime stopped on that block, the shootings, because everybody that did it either was dead or in prison, or their parents or grandparent, grandma and them lost the property. Or when grandma died, they lose the property in taxes. So I just saw, it was a story. I just saw the whole shift of that block. They used to be all the way black to now some Latinos have moved on the block. And so I just saw it. I just really, really saw the shift and the change that happened, on that block. And for my brothers, they was dealt a bad hand. Like they didn't have a father to protect them. Their father left. He was dating a woman. I can point out the building where she lived at. She just took him, and he started being in love with her. She had about a lot of kids or whatever, and she would have threesomes with her daughter. So this is a true story. She had threesomes with her daughter. She didn't look at her kids as her kids. They were her friends. You know what I'm saying? She had threesomes with her daughter. I would say that the multiple attacker. This is like a true story because we went and we saw her in action, her daughter in the mama in action and stuff like that. So it's a lot of things. Her daughter became I don't know how old she. I think she was about 19, 19, and she had threesomes with her daughter, and people on the block, they smashed the door in the mama. So all that stuff was going on. And so I seen some gentrification in the neighborhood. Absolutely. I'm seeing them with very eyes. And so my grandmother, my mother, she found out that my father, her husband, was cheating on her, right, with the neighbor down the street. And she was crying. I was hurt. I was hurt for my mother. But once I got older, I really didn't understand her crying because I'm like, you cheated too. You sleeping with his friends. I didn't understand the tears as I got older, but I still have to console my mother. It was just bad around. And then my brother in and out of the hospital, in and out of juvie. My other brother in and out of juvie. Then my younger brother, he was doing good at first. Then it hit him. He in and out of juvie, and then it upgraded. And this one I knew when I moved to Texas, it got worse because the carjacking was extreme. Because at first, carjacking wasn't like that back in the day. People wasn't really carjacking like that. If they did, it wasn't publicized like that. And then one particular day, my brother started carjacking people, and he got caught. He stole a white man's carjacked a man, and it was all it got. It was recorded somehow. I think somebody recorded on the phone. Something he had a camera. Something happened. They caught my brother. And my brother's in prison. He got about 2 or 3 more years in prison on his bid, but he's in prison. And these people, or my brother, all of them have children. You know what I'm saying? I only have one sibling. Me and her is the only one that don't have kids, but the rest of my brothers and my sisters, they all have children. And my fear is that they all been dealt a bad hand. You know what I'm saying? They all been dealt a bad hand. Look at my nieces and nephews, and I try to work overtime, and it keeps me up at night. I said, look at the future that my brothers have brought children in, and they're not leading a good example. Because one of my nephews came, he's going through a lot. He was telling me he's going through a lot, and it was so sad. And I started to get a front row seat to the damage that is being done. And, because when you get on the phone with these people, they all lie. Oh, bro, I'm doing good. I'm owning my own lawn service. I'm doing good. That's all they tell me on the phone. And so I'm listening. Okay, you doing good. I said, but where you at? In jail, locked up. So then I started seeing his children start coming. And so kids going to talk. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you are doing something good for them, they're going to spill the tea. And my nephew, he started spilling the tea about what's going on in his house. And it was sad because I really love like my nieces and nephews, and I didn't want him to go back. And when he asked me, he said, "Can I come and stay with you in Texas? I want to move." And I cried. I cried because I knew that his father and mother wouldn't allow it to happen. And I cried because I'm saying, this is a lot. Like my nephew, my family is going through a lot right now. And he really asked, he said, can I come and stay with you, in Texas? It brought me to tears. And so once I try to ask, I knew I was gonna get resistance. And then once I brought it up, and then they're gonna say, you just go home for a refund check, people ignorant. So I have to pull it back because again, these people are not. I have to pull it back because he have parents and they not gonna roll with that, even though they ain't doing a good job, but they don't want that. You know what I'm saying? And then I knew if I take him, then the rest of his siblings gonna want to come. They want to be rescued. You know what I'm saying? He loved his mom, he loved his dad, he loved them, but they want to be free. They want to be in a better environment. And it's just seeing their father getting to and from prison, trying to do the streets. Ain't good at it. I can see if you doing good, they ain't good at it. None of my brothers are good drug dealers. They try to do it. They think they good. They ain't good. They always get caught. And I told one of my brothers, I have my ear to the streets. I'm not stupid. I said, bruh, you need to leave the lifestyle because you have so many ops or informants in your crew. You don't know what you're talking about. I said, okay. About 2 weeks, this is when I was deep in Chicago, and about a year before I left, he got arrested. And the people in his crew turned against him. And he said, bro, you were so right. I said, of course I'm right. Because I said, you're not going to be successful. It's just not, it's just not going to happen. You're not going to be successful. You're going to get caught. And I could tell, and I knew the people because the streets talk. And my ear is to the streets. I never got away from them. People tell me things, and I keep trying to tell my brother, I say, you think I don't know these people? I do. I choose not to deal with them, but I got my ear to the streets. You're not that smart. You think you're that smart, but you're not. You always get caught. And to this day, they all caught. I have three brothers in prison right now. 3 of them. I had one brother went to jail. And my oldest brother, he's not my biological brother, he's my oldest brother. He got 1 stint in jail and he turned his life around, right? My other brothers, no. They still deep in the lifestyle. And going to prison is not like it. It's like a vacation. Like going to prison now is like a vacation. You with your friends, you get to go online, you go Facebook, you can be on Twitch, you could be on Snapchat. It's like a vacation. You come back and be a better criminal. Or you think you're a better criminal, you come back and do more crime. It's like, it's just so sad. Like my brother, it's just all the way sad. You know what I'm saying? At the end of the day, and I feel bad for their children because it's not fair for them. I did everything I can do. And I tell they baby mamas, y'all, I tell them all, they stop talking to me. Because I'm going to tell you the same. So I'm like a broken record. I say, y'all need to think about your children. You need to, go to school, be there for your children, because you cannot depend on a man to help you. Because if he was going to do it, he'd have been did it. So you have to think about your babies. And then poof, here we go. I talked to one of my brother baby. This was she had 2 babies. Now she got 6. She had 2. And I told her, I said, you need to stop. I said, I don't think that my brother, I didn't say think. I said, I know my brother's not going to marry you. Why would he do it? You give him everything. He's not husband material. Maybe one day, but today he ain't. So you need to worry about your children. Oh, well, you so right. You so right. They don't call me Wiley. Marquise, you so right. Now you got 6 children. 6. Barely can make ends meet. Now you need the family. Now we got to help you. We got to go in our pocket. And it's sad because, and I tell my brother when I get him on the phone, I always say, you got a family. What do I mean when I keep saying you got a family? You got 6 kids. 6. You have the same amount of children that your mother and father had. 6 children. And you still, and those that we know of, right? Because T about that. But you have 6, a minimum of 6. And you still want to do street activity. You still you still want to do street activity. I gave the best advice. I said, get on birth control, play me, and listen to me. But now you need us. And my thing is this: it is sad, and that's when the pressure is on my mother, because you go to my mama. When I get on the phone, my mama phone ring like she a phone company. Ring. Everybody call her for prison. Call my other friend 3-way. And my mother is so tired. She's so extremely stressed. And some days she'll just be up and just go to sleep. And she try to get a nap in. She sleep a little bit better when I'm there, because I could do much for my grandmother. And like when she don't really have to do nothing for my girl, because I'm there, I can do a lot. And I can wash the dishes. I can talk to my grandma all day. You know what I'm saying? So my mother can kind of study and kind of sleep, because she is going through a lot. You know what I'm saying? Because she got to do all the children, and they're adults, but they still come home to mama and bring their issues and bring their problem. Then you got to help with their children as well. So it's a lot that is going on. And they ask me for stuff, and I tell them no. And let me tell you why. My brother's, hey, could you put some money on my book? Nope. I'm going to give that money to help your son. I'm not giving you $1. Oh, okay. Hey, bro. I know you hear me. I'm not giving you $1. Why would I keep giving you money on your books? You ain't in school. You not cooperating, going to school, getting your diploma. You ain't getting nothing. So why would I keep putting money on your books? And you got kids that need the resources, that they have a chance, because you just lost. You picking the street. So I have to kind of be there for your children, right? I'm not going to give you nothing, because you got 3 meals in the car. You don't need nothing. Okay. So, but for his children, they need to see a good example. So a lot of them, like my brother, my mother said, you can stay, leave the streets alone. He have to go to the city. He said, I love my brothers. Like, this man will help his crew, baby mamas and crew pay their bills. And I said, they ain't doing it for him. But he loved the streets. And the streets got him. And I'm not shocked. He loved my brothers. Like, majority of them, they love the streets. They love the streets. I mean, they love the city. I mean, not the good parts. You know, it's good parts of the city, downtown, you know, up north, Lincoln Park. Yeah, not that part. South Side, Inglewood, the hood, they just as comfortable. They love the hood. You know what I'm saying? They love the hood. They love it. And it's just like and they go in and out of jail. They go in and out of jail and stuff like that. It's sad. It's really, 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 really. They're addicted to the street. It's a disease. It's an addiction, and it's hard. Some people get out of it. Some people don't. So they love that Chicago, the hood. They love it. They don't like to be out where it's no crime, no drug. They say it's boring. They want to go where the action is at, you know. So, so, but I look at my brother's children and I say, oh, I want them to have a better life. So that's why I work hard, not only for myself, but for my siblings' children. To let them know everybody ain't messed up like everybody. Somebody in the family is doing something great. And so when I look at my nieces and nephews, they hurt. They're in a lot of pain because, you know, see, their parents do the way they do it, and they don't know they're going to pay for all that. You know what I'm saying? They're going to pay for all that. And so, that's why I always come in. I do great for my niece and nephew. And that's why I come in and help my mother and be an assistant for my mother because she is under a lot of stress. My mother don't ask for help. You know what I'm saying? Her pride won't do it. So you have to just do the work. You can't even offer because she's gonna turn it. Oh, you ain't gotta do that. You ain't gotta do it. But it exists. You know what I'm saying? It exists because I saw the need is so great, and so I pray and I don't want to get a phone call from my mother and that she's in a hospital for having a nervous breakdown because it's heading that way because she's under a lot of stress. My mother is a full-time caregiver. Right then and there, that is stressful because my grandmother is so needy. At first, my grandma wasn't as needy, but the need is getting greater, right? And my grandmother is almost 90, about a year. I think she got about 2 more years. She'll be 90. I think she's 80. About 2 more years, she'll be 90 years old. And the need is great, right? Me and my mother also have to help with her. Man, he have health complications. You got to pick him up, drop him off. He don't want to get him no car. I don't know why he ain't doing that, but it's a lot that, and all he does is complain, complain, complain. But he don't know he's part of the problem. And did also I got my nieces. They're they up there, you know. They kids. So kids gonna be kids. So my mother have all of this on her table. She does. And then she also have sons that's in prison that's calling for money, want her to put their friends on three-way. And I always tell my mother, I told my mother, I said, you know, they only treated you on how you allow them to treat you. I said to her, I said, if you don't stop, your health gonna stop. And you may not want to hear that, but the path that you're on is not good. You're gonna have to stop. You're gonna have to say, okay, it's too much. I'm gonna have to stop. And it's affecting you. And I see the effects of it, but you're gonna have to stop. Because if you're in the hospital, Lord forbid, everything you're doing, they're going to have to fend for themselves. Like you're not their God, so don't try to be God. Give it to God. You're trying to replace God by doing stuff, and you're a human being. You can't do it. Only God can handle that burden. You can't. You trying to play God, and it's affecting your health. Mentally, it's affecting you. You can't be God. Or there's only one God. You can't be trying to do everything. And I said, you know, it's affecting you and it's affecting your health. And you're tired, you know, and because it's too many people, everybody should take shifts. Okay, I'm gonna do dishes today, or I'm gonna clean today. I'm gonna take out the garbage today. I help my mother because it's my mother needs the help. But also, my mother also needs to get to hear this truth and say, hey, mama, you got to lay off of this situation. You're getting older. It was okay to drink when you young, you know what I'm saying? But when you get 50 something, you got to cut that off because that drinking affects your body. And that's why her man got problems with his kidneys and all that type of stuff. Because my mother, they love to drink. And so my mother know not to ask me for no money for no drinking. I will buy food all day, but I will never help you with your issue. So, but she'll do it herself. So she saw um 2 cases of beer. So she got 2 cases of beer. And I won't judge my mother, you know. So, but when I see her drink like that, I disappear. I do my show for hours and hours and hours. And when I hear her go to her rants, my niece came out to come grab me because my mother was having one of her rants. It was a drunken rant. She was drunk. And I didn't go inside because I already know the end results. I'm not going to get that stress. I'm just doing my show, minding my own business. And then I go in there, I talk to her. She's not sober. She's drunk. And so I listen to her go to her drinking rant, you know. And every time she do it, I go back as a little boy. I can just in my mind go back to when I'm like 8 or 9 when she is just ranting, right? But I'm a grown adult and I'm listening to her rant about different things. And some of the stuff she's ranting about is the truth, you know. But of course, she's drunk. And she kept saying, I'm gonna change some things around. I'm gonna stop doing all this. I'm gonna change some things around and cut all this stress. And she don't know, like, I'm like, okay, I'm listening to it. And I went on and I cleaned up and I went to sleep. I literally went to sleep. And I got up. And my mother got up like ain't nothing happened last night. Because she's so conditioned that she have an addiction. She don't even know that either she know or she don't want to know, but it is an addiction. And the only reason why she's not as wild as she used to, because she's older, but it's affecting her and she's drinking a lot. And her man, he drinks a lot and it's affecting his health. And he said, I got to cut back on the liquor. It's affecting my health. I said, y'all getting older. Y'all in your 50s. Y'all are no longer in y'all 20s. When you're 28, 27, you can do all that. But you older now. And then y'all drinking cheap liquor. Y'all ain't drinking no bottles. Y'all drinking what liquor? Oh, I forgot the malt liquor, Miller Lite, Miller High Lights. Y'all drinking Miller High. Y'all drinking that cheap stuff. It ain't doing nothing but affecting your health. And I said, you gotta stop. And she said, well, you know your mom, she's drinking, she under a lot of stress. I said, but she been drinking before she was under all this stress. She have always been doing this. Even with my grandmother, before my grandmother even had her stroke, my mother was doing this. So I'm not going to just blame that on my grandmother health demise, health failing, because my mother have been doing this way before my grandmother had a stroke. So that can work with somebody else. But I know my mama. She been doing it all since I've known her. Since I've been born, she have been doing this. The only difference is she got gray hair, she gotten older. That's the only difference. But the problem is still there. And until she wake up and attack that issue head on, going to therapy, get some psychiatric treatment, go to AA, she's gonna die from it. And I know people don't like me saying it, but that's the end result. What do you think gonna happen? It was a deacon in our church, and I saw his wife. His wife came and visited my grandmother. Oh, she's just sweet. You would never know what this lady went through, the hell she went through, because she don't show. I've never seen her go off. But she's so sweet. She came and said, hey, God bless you, Brother Marquez. I'm like, God bless you, mother. I never had an issue with this mother because my sister said, out of all the people that you dragged in true church, you never dragged her because she always treated me with respect. She was always nice. Like, when I look at her, I see a saint of God. I see a saint. Like, not because how she shout and all, because she's not one of them type of people that be rolling all on the floor. No, it's her life outside the church. When I go to, because she owned a store, like she was a good example of true church. Growing up, she owned a store, she owned properties, she owned property in a store. So I've learned that entrepreneurship just watching this mother. But she lived her life. Her son was murdered. She had another son, spent over 25, 30 years in prison. Him since in the early 90s, he just got out because of President Trump or President Obama. It was some president they was able to get off, I think, get pardoned. And then her husband died. He because of alcoholism. And so when my uncle went to go visit him, I didn't go this time. He came back to the church and told us that, Deacon have died. And when you went into his room, he smelled nothing like liquor. He died from the bottle. And he was very addicted. A great guy. He just had an issue. He was dependent on the bottle. He was dependent on the bottle. And he died. And every day I look at my mother and I say, I don't want my mother to go out like this. But it's nothing I can do. But it's just pray for my mother. We can't force it. All I can do is pray for my mama. Because when I talk to my mother, when she's sober, she always say, I don't have no problem. I just like to have a little drink, a here and there. I'm not an alcoholic. She don't know. It ain't just no one or two drinks. It's cases are gone, and she don't know that she have this addiction. And she know, and her boyfriend or whatever you want to call him, he don't know he got an addiction. And that's he got back problems, kidney problems, blood problems. But he don't know. He keeps saying, I got all these problems. And I keep trying to tell him, you drinking all that liquor, you got to cut it out. He said, yeah, you right. I said, it's affecting your health. I said, you got to cut this stuff out. I said, both of y'all got to cut it out. But ain't going to do it. She in the strong denial. So, and then once I talk with my grandmother, because I always got to start with mama. And one thing about my grandmother, if you ask my grandmother the right questions, she will answer. But you don't come to her confrontational. Like, yeah, grandma, whatever happened to so-and-so, your father and your husband? And she starts spilling the tea. And I said, I'm learning because I'm trying to get an understanding of my mother about why did she choose this bottle? Because the way how the picture is, she lived in a 2-family household, mother and father. She went to Catholic school. Her father was bringing in money. Her mother was working. So you would probably say my mom was probably middle class. She was raised in nice. When they first moved to Inglewood, Inglewood is not like it was when my grandmother moved back in the late 70s, early 80s. It's not what you think Inglewood is today. So they was really nice. My mother had her own room. Like I said, she was in Catholic school. They paid for her to go there. So everything was doing good, but something happened. And so that's why if you ask her mother questions, you would understand. It's like, some things went on. And I told my grandmother, I said, a lot of times we as your generation, y'all didn't do a good job communicating with y'all children. It was a lot of dysfunction, and it just was dysfunction. It was no communication. It was no let's sit down or let's go to counseling. That stuff didn't exist. And so now you're dealing with the end result. And now that because of people like my mother, when she grew up, she never was able to get help for her trauma. And whatever that trauma was, she never was able to get help. My sister confronted my grandmother about her own trauma because my sister, my niece said, "Oh, you need to, I'm not my grandma said, you need to get close with God." My sister told her, "I don't believe in your God." This was a couple of days ago in the kitchen. I don't believe in your God. You know why I don't believe in your God? Because your God, just my sister's words, allow Charmin to play with me in sexually. Your God protect rapists, right? Then she proceeded to say, and she said, Marquise, you never heard this before, but I'm gonna tell you this. Not only he did it, but my uncle, the one that's dead, the one that died, he played with me also. And I told grandma what he did to me. And she told me all because of the medication, because he didn't take his medicine. And then my grandmother, oh, I don't remember none of that, so I try not to remember the past. And mind you, I ain't saying nothing. See, that's why Marquise ain't saying it, because he know I'm telling the truth. I didn't say a word. And what can I say? Well, they could double team and trip team me? Nope. I ain't said a word. But my grandmother says a verbatim. She said, I don't go back. I don't remember what going on in the past. I try to ignore the past. And pretty much what my grandmother told her, get over it. I don't go back in the past. And my grandmother said, don't listen to her, Marquise. Don't listen to her. She Mhm. Okay. So you hear, like my sister said it, and she have every right. My sister has been very consistent in her story about Charmin, and other members have been very consistent. This is why Charmin deleted his social media, because he didn't know that Marquise was going to become this big entity. I didn't even know I was this big until I posted it, and then she told me, she said, Marquise, you were one of the ones that got his wife notified of what he did. And then she heard rumors about what he did to people in Virginia. You know what? And she questioned him about it. Instead of him addressing it, he went and cheated on her with another woman, got her pregnant, and then divorced her, and then hurried up and remarried before the baby was born, so it don't look like he committed adultery. But he did that because she kept hearing rumors from me, from my show. She kept Googling stuff, and I gained all this traction, right? And she questioned because she said, he said some things, but I'm hearing rumors about you here that you did some stuff to some people here in Virginia. So she questioned him about that. You know what I'm saying? She really questioned him about that. And then when I went to his social media, he started deleting his social media because Wiley is more bigger now than I was 6 years ago. Now, when I say his name, you have all these people reach out. Somebody actually confronted him and said, is it true what Wiley is saying, that you molested his sister? He was at a community event. And after they asked, he deleted his social media. Because one of my viewers went to one of his community events, because he's out in the community doing something, and they asked him, is it true that you did something to Wiley's sister? And he tried to act like he didn't know who Wiley was. And she said, and then I said, oh, you probably, oh, I'm talking about Marquise. Oh, I ain't gonna worry about that. Don't worry about hearing all them rumors, blah, blah. And then shortly after that, he deleted his social media because this person told me, she told him. And then when I try to go to social, it's all gone. I didn't know. I didn't tell that person to go and say that. I didn't even know that person exists. But when you talking on the internet, you ain't just talking to yourself. It's 435 people that's currently watching, not even going to give you to the hundreds of thousands of people that's going to see it later on. But all he had to do was go to jail, go to prison, apologize for what he did, and go to prison. And resign from being a police officer. I don't think you need to serve and protect when you up here snatch. You think I want somebody that took advantage of my sister when she was a little girl and he's a police officer? Can you imagine the type of abuse of power he's going to be doing? Understand what I'm saying? It's wrong. It is so wrong. And I didn't, and then my sister, I took her word and also her friend word. People didn't just make it up. And then my sister told my grandmother, and then when I heard her say what she said, well, you probably, what did you do, gal? Okay. And that's what I knew then. My grandmother, even though she claimed she's a little nice, I love her, but she got a lot of effed up ways. And that's because of how she was raised. And then I told my grandma, I said, you dated a lot of effed up men. I didn't say the word. I said, you loved a lot of bad men. She laughed. Well, you're right about that. Because all the men, she said, either they was drunks, they were abusive, and then one guy that she liked. And I asked her, I said, Grandma, why did you didn't marry him? That was before she met my mother's father, because all her kids got different fathers. She said, the reason why I didn't date him because he wanted to move to Texas. And I said, I'm not moving to Texas. I got family in Chicago. I don't want to move to Texas. And that's why my uncle is that's his father. Now, my uncle, I just saw him on DNA Ancestry, and I always wanted to know why. We don't talk like that. It's division in the family, but it's always been division in the family. And so they all came to my mom's house because we went to Mother's Day celebration. And so they all came to my mom's house like about the next day. And they said, yeah, on DNA, they try to get stuff about their father information, about their grandfather. Oh, yeah, well, yeah, we saw Marquise on there. Now, mind you, I got all this knowledge. Y'all don't talk to me because there's so much division. So I'm just listening. I'm just listening at all. And so after they leave, then my uncle, my grandmother's son, come. He wanted to get questions about his father. My grandmother started changing the story about something else. And then he got up and he left. And then so a couple of days later, I said, grandmother, I said, what happened with your son's father? She said he was a nice guy. I had all the information about him. I didn't tell my son. I said, but why you didn't tell your son about his father? She said, Marquise, the reason I didn't tell him because your grandfather wouldn't allow it. He was very abusive. He was very mean man. He's very mean. And if I bring another man up, I'm gonna get attacked. And so I just shielded up and I didn't give it up. And then she shared something I never heard her share before, ever. She said he used to call my house. I said, who used to call your house? My son's father. He would never say nothing. And then my husband got on the phone and called his name. I said, but how did he know him? Because I talked about him a lot. So he used to call my house. And then he stopped and he just went away. But he was a nice guy. I just never wanted to marry him because I didn't want to move to Texas. And so that's why on Ancestry, that's why his family stuff is on. A lot of stuff is coming up from Texas. And so he's trying. Me and my uncle is like in the same. Well, it's different for him because his father is dead. But he's still trying, but me and him in the same shoes because we're still trying to get to know our father's history, our siblings, that side. So me and him is in the same shoes. The reason why he's not as close with his mother, and my grandmother knows this because she said, I feel like they're paying me back for what happened in their childhood. And I'm like, you're right, there he is. All your children do that to you, especially your sons. So she was talking about what really happened. And she said, and I said, do you regret not telling your son about it? She said, no, I don't regret doing it. I should have, but she said, I don't regret because during that time, I just didn't want to have two men going at war and I'm in the middle. So I don't regret it. And I said, you know, that hurt. She said, yeah, it hurt. It hurt. Oh, who is it? Hello.
Hey, what are you doing?
Hey, not much.
Are you doing a setup?
Yeah, finishing up my last part of it. I've been on here for about 3 hours.
You been what now?
I've been on here for about 3 hours. Like I'm finishing it up. Because Tasha,
You was on the show when you called me?
no, I had put you on it. Yeah, I hadn't even started when I had called you. I'm done. I'm saying when you got off the phone, I was on here. I went live talking about Tasha K and his bankruptcy.
Hold on one second. Hold on. What'd you say? I'm sorry.
No, I said I had went live after I got on the phone with you to talk about this Tasha K bankruptcy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. What's up?
Nothing. Just let me know whenever you're done or whatever. I just finally got myself together and put on some clothes.
Oh, so you want where we about to go? There, you already got the place. Okay, I'm gonna call. I'm about to get done in about 10 minutes.
I was just thinking about just going to Applebee's or whatever.
Oh, okay. What time they close? They close now?
They close at 1 or 2. I think it's Friday.
Okay, let me know, and I'll be done in about 10 minutes. You want me to come to you or meet you up there?
I don't have a way up there, so you might have to come to me.
Okay, I'll make sure I'll come to you and then we can go.
What I'll do is I'll see if my brother can. Well, the only way I would is my brother would have to call a lift.
I'll come to this. Here we go together. Yeah, I got you. All right.
You said what now?
I said when I get done, I can just call the lift.
All right.
All right. Okay. So, so I'm just, I'm just saying all this stuff. And then that's when I knew. I said, this was the division have started. And I'm going to break down some more stuff later. But my grandmother is start with her father and all that. And I'm going to let y'all know some more stuff, but I'm going to just close on this regard. Parents, you all have to communicate with your children. And Tamron Hall, she said it so. I'm sorry, Tamala Mann, she said, I made some mistakes with my children. So I always tell my children to do a better job than what I did because I didn't know everything. So whatever mistakes I made, you make sure that you do a better job with your children. My mother picked up that same spirit of not communicating enough with her children. That's the same cycle of secrets, division, because with my father, the communication just stopped in a sense. And there's a lot of things she ain't telling me. So I have to, and once I'm finding out a lot of stuff, it's making my mother look bad and bad because a lot of secrets that she just kept and a lot of stories that she told me ain't paying to what she claimed because I'm getting the evidence. And so I don't care how bad it is, tell your children the truth. Tell them the truth because it humanize you. And children, we cannot judge our parents about the things that they did. We can't judge them. We gonna be pissed. I'm pissed. You pissed. I'm pissed. But I don't judge my mother anymore because I understand she was young like me. She made some mistakes. I have to be better than my mother. But I'm not gonna judge her. Okay? I'm not going to judge my mother. I did at first. I judged her a lot. I said, "What you did this, mama? You did all this." But now I don't. I know that my mother, she was a young woman once, and a lot of cards that was dealt, and a lot of things she did with her trauma. And so when it comes to my grandmother, I don't really judge her because of the trauma that she went through back in Georgia. And so, um, my mother had to she dealt whatever the car, she did the best that she could do. Okay. I love my mother. I love my grandmother. I love my family. So that's why I got to be better than them when how they treated me. I got to treat my mother. I got to treat my family better. I do. I love my mama. I love my grandmother. I love my brothers and sisters. And I said, Wiley, now you understand that you got to be in your child life. The best decision you can make a good decision or bad. You got to know who you want to have children with, and you can go that way, or you can raise your nieces and nephews. And I don't know, maybe one day I'll have to raise some of my nieces and nephews. I never thought that, but that thought came up, and my grandma, she said, I will not be surprised that maybe one day, Marquise, that you probably will have to raise some of your nieces and nephews. It will not, my grandma said, I'll probably be dead and gone, but it will not surprise me. I'll probably be dead and gone, and you will probably have to step in for your nieces and nephews to help them because they're going to need your help. I never thought that. I never thought that at all, but it will not surprise me if I have to help with some of my nieces and nephews and stuff because they definitely need the help and they love being around me because it's peace. You know what I'm saying? I'm not cussing them out, calling them dumb and drinking just weird. Just because you have to look at children different than when we were kids. These kids are very intelligent, very smart. You have to communicate to them, especially if they're about 10. You can't talk to a 12, 13-year-old dumb. No, you have to talk because they're boys and they're becoming teenagers. So you have to communicate, you have to talk. So when I talk to my nephews and nieces, especially those that are getting older, I can't talk to them like they 6 years old. They ain't 6, you 12, you 13 years old. So things that they tell me, I give them advice. And one of my nieces and nephews, he's almost 14, he would share some things to me, and he was like, man, you keep it real. I'm like, I'm going to keep it real too. I'm not going to try to sugarcoat some things. And because he want to learn about girls and about school, about social media, and I tell them all the time. I said, don't let it bother you. And I always tell my niece and nephew that I always deal with the cyberbullying crap to cut it off. And it's difficult for them, you know what I'm saying? Understand and just to talk to them. And so when you talk to them and not judge them, then they will respect you other. But a lot of parents, they just try to, oh, don't do this. But you got to talk to your kids, not at them, but to them, and have that communication. And you still be the disciplinarian, but you still want to communicate with your family. And so that's what I do. I communicate with them. I love my nieces and nephews. I love my family. So when I go home, I'm at peace and I keep busy. I'm at peace. I love my family. So thank y'all. Black trauma is deep. Yes, we don't have emotional maturity to deal with children. Yes, I love them. You are so right about that. You are so right. I love my family. I don't like them at all the time. And it's vital that we have boundaries set with our families. We know which button to press because they install the buttons. Absolutely. And this is why I keep my distance. My mother tell me, she said, you keep busy. I said, I keep busy. But I said, mother, I'm not just busy just to be busy. I'm busy doing things to help us. Because if I win, I could be able to be a better help to you and to my family, and to my niece and nephew. So my niece said something in my clothes. This is why you have to be a good example because children see everything. So I was up and my niece said, where are you going, Uncle? I said, I'm going to the mayor, going to City Hall to go see what the mayor doing. He's doing at City Hall. She said, what's the mayor? So I explained to her what's the mayor. What's City Hall? I explained to her what City Hall is. And she said, you know what, Uncle, when I get old, I would like to become mayor. I said, if you work hard with that mind frame and get intelligent, you can definitely do that. To do that, we don't never let nobody tell you you can't do these things. You could do that and some, right? So she was talking about that and she was having a great time. She really wanted to go with me to City Hall, but just showing that positive influence just to see something like that is great because they see the shift. They see that I'm coming in. They see that, I'm not coming in with gangsters and drugs, and I'm really out here doing things to make their lives better. And so it's really, really great. So my nieces saw that, and my niece was so that way, and they cry when I'm not there. They do, especially my other niece. They really, really cry when I'm not there. So they really love when I'm there. They love their uncle, and I love them. And one day they will be young ladies, and they will be their mothers, and then they will have children. One day. The same thing with my other nieces and nephews and all of them. They're going to get older. They're going to get older. I have a cousin. She's having her first baby. When I was coming up, she was a little girl, a little baby. Now she having a baby. She was 18, 19 years old, having her first child. Have cousins that now they're fathers, but when I saw them, I would babysit them. They were babies. And they're fathers, So, shift have changed. Of course, we're not close because their mom don't get along with me. Um, and so we don't have that. And our family is in cliques. Like we got my mom, our crew, we with our clique, my Uncle Melvin, his kids, they clique. Kiosha and their kids clique. It's like it's clicky stuff, which is stupid. But it exists. It's such a good feeling when a kid asks a question and you're explaining to them and you can see them processing what you're experiencing happening all the time with my son. Yes, time flies. And so I love my nieces and nephews. They love their uncle, and I spend time with them. We do karaoke, we do schoolwork, we try to do math. I try to tell my niece every time I say, spell this word out. What does it mean? That word, it makes me a better person. So when I go back there, we taking her to the library because I like to read. She liked to read, and she said she would like to go to the library and read books, and to get her active about different things because I know she in order to be educated, I just can't depend on the school. You also gotta depend on it as well. They say your presence is needed. Those little girls need to see when men are grow up. Some girls so broken now. They need to see that it's some positive male figures here. And my niece, she always said, "Where your friend at?" The one with the what did you? She have a disability? I don't know what is a disability. Like I said, look up the word. So she looked up the word because my friend, she does. She have a disability. So she saw her. She always asks about her and stuff like that. And so that's what made me and my Chicago babe really flourish. That she really liked me because she saw how good I am with my niece and how active I am in their life. So that's like a good thing for a woman to see. Like, oh my gosh, he's really good with his nieces and nephews. Like he's a really good guy. And really good. Like I go and rent a car and she missed that. Like she loved that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm from the old school. I make sure I pick her up, make sure I drop her off. You know, I love that. So, but you know, God is good, man. God is good. And I'm gonna be there for my niece and nephew because I love them all. That's how they keep me working. You know, I want to make sure I'm not gonna try to spoil them, like do too much. I try not to. They're my girls. They can whatever they need. I try to do it for them. Like my niece, she want a new iPad, so I gotta get her a new iPad. You know, I love. I don't want to spoil them, but it's kind of hard. Like, it's kind of hard. It's kind of hard. Like my other niece, whatever she want, I spoiled her. Cause at first, my baby niece, like she did not let me hold her. Like she didn't know me because like my sister said she don't know you. So now, Uncle, where you gonna go? Uncle, where you going? Like when I go, I have to take them to the store. If I go to Cleaners, they want to go to Cleaners, which is good. You know what I'm saying? I got to go there. I bring food home. I got to bring extra food home because even though they ain't gonna hardly eat it like that, if I'm sitting, they want to eat. If I'm outside, they want to be outside. If I'm in the back, they want to be in the backyard. Like they just want to just be there, and they love it. You know what I'm saying? I love them. So everywhere I go, they want to go. You know what I'm saying? If I go out for a walk, they want to go, and I had to stop going out for a walk because my niece she don't want me to put her in the stroller. I got the whole. I said, niece, I can't hold you. I'm trying to exercise. Oh, pick me up. There we go. And then when I walk, then I gotta she want to walk outside. So it's fun with my nieces and nephews. I love them all. I love all of my nieces. Like they are so like they're I love being an uncle, you know what I'm saying? Because being an uncle, that's just like preview of being a father, you know what I'm saying? And preview of being a father. So, you know, I'm getting as much practice in, you know what I'm saying, and everything. I have to give me some asterisks because them kids is up there. They just wah, 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 wah. As soon as I get up, like it get quiet and they wear me out. Like I didn't know how tired I was. As soon as I got home, I slept. Like when I get there, I sleep like a baby because they wear me out because I'm active. And so I'll be knocked out. I get that bed and I'll be like and then when I'm there, carrying your niece's good exercise, like oh wait, yes. So my niece came, like she came in the living room and she just want to play. Usually they say she sleep, but since I'm there, she got to be up. All in there. Playing on that. I put the sheets on, she grabbed the sheets on, she jumping on. I said, niece, you gotta stop jumping on the bed all this. Then if I eat a popsicle, then both of them want a popsicle. So it's just like it's a lot, and I love them. It's just a lot. I love my nieces. It is really fun. It keeps me active. It keeps me youthful. Like my niece is so active on social media when it comes to like TikTok. Um, so she always said, let's do some TikTok. So I try to get active. I got to do some old TikTok moves with my nieces. So it's just so fun. It's so fun. I love them. I love my family. I love them. Yeah. And so I'll be back in Chicago for home. It's gonna be a while because I gotta be in City Hall. So it's gonna be good. And of course, I have picked up a little gig down there as well. You could do that once you were CNA. You could pick up, and so it's a beautiful place, assisted living. So it ain't no nursing home. So I haven't done assisted living in a long time. So I'll be doing that as well. And so yes, take care of other people's kids is the best birth control. Yes, it is. And it ain't making me rush. It ain't making me rush to do it, player. I ain't rushing to I am not rushing to have no children. I am not. When I tell you I'm not rushing to have no children, I'm not rushing. Like at one point I got up And I thought I was about to go in on Chicago. I didn't even see it because I know, like, when I see it, what we go do. I know me. You know what I'm saying? And she know me. And we know each other. So I just not, I ain't, you know what I'm saying? I ain't ready. You know what I'm saying? I ain't ready. I ain't ready, or whatever the case may be. I am not ready at all, you know. Mm-mm. Uh, so I am in no rush. Okay. I'm not in no rush. Um, but once I get in my mid 30s, I'm 32, I'm in early 30s. So when I get to my mid 30s, I think about it. But I'm not in no rush. You know what I'm saying? I want a good partner that can that a teamwork, because and she's a good mother. You know what I'm saying? I have to give her that. She loves her daughter. She teaches her daughter Spanish. She's very active in her community. She loved politics, so that's why we fell in love. But I'm still not going to rush it. I'm gonna take my time. You know what I'm saying? I'm not, why rush? You know what I'm saying? And because I've seen people that rush and look at that, then look at the results they get. All right, so this was a lit show. All right, I'll be back live tomorrow. I'm about to go out today. We about to be lit out in these streets. Little black boy, you beautiful. It's so good, little black boy. Somebody said it's so good when a kid asks, oh yeah, I read that question. Little black girl, you enough. When times get hard, always remember to put God first. We're back in the studio. We didn't get any phone calls, but y'all already know. I know y'all gonna drag me in the comments, but if you drag me, do not use any cuss words. Again, also shout out to you, Christina Moore. I need y'all to type in the video and say happy birthday to Christina Moore. I know you party and it's Friday night. You better get it in. It's Friday night on your birthday. Okay. I would have talked to y'all some more hours, but my friend going through something. He need to chit chat with me. So let's go out. Y'all have a good time. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace.